Do you have any idea the emotional damage that this causes to somebody that age? They're going to have to live the rest of their lives knowing what happened to them. Have you ever had to sit in a corner with somebody while they scratched their skin off because they couldn't deal with how they felt?
Have you ever had to
They
sit?
didn't like the fact that somebody touched them that they didn't want to because they were too young to realize it? You could have done that today. What is a hero? A hero is defined as someone who is admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievements, and for their strength. I can't think of a better way to describe the amazing survivors in our community. To go through something so traumatic and life-altering that it changes you and scars you forever, but still find the strength to continue on every day and push through, that's real strength. That is a real hero.
I love that video.
That was badass.
It is.
I appreciate it.
That was a smart idea too, to like be able to like set it up, you know, as we're coming on. I didn't even think about that last, like when we, I think it was last week when you shared it the first time. I didn't think about it, but hey, Tech. Robyn's running a little late. She's trying to hook her devices up. So we're just shooting the shit for now until she shows up. Hey, Justine, Jen, Chantel, Tacoma Joe, Tanya, Ghost Malone. Who else is in here? Sabby, Rhino Girl, and Nat. Oh, and Dominique. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we were just up here shooting the shit. Hey, Kodiak. Hey, Bill. Waiting for Miss Robyn to show up, and then Amber will be up around 3:15 when she gets out of work and gets home. So I hope she don't have no issues with her with her devices either. It can be a pain in the butt. Hello, beautiful Christy. I love the name change. Now you're back to Christy again. I love it. It's a lot shorter than, you know, Christina Machetes, or I forget what you had it as last.
I like that.
So we were just chatting about Blaze's update on his last catch and talking about how grateful, you know, we are for survivors and stuff. So we sat backstage shooting some shit, chopping it up. You too, Nat. I hope you're having a good day so far. How's everybody's day going? Hello, Shauna. So maybe, Rockstar, what we can do is give people, I guess, a background on the catch you had.
Yeah. So I started decoying this guy. He was my sixth catch. I started decoying him, I believe it was July-ish. Talked to him for a little bit. He got sexual immediately. He sent some really nasty stuff, different pictures and things like that. It ended up that he wanted to meet, but I was at work. So I figured instead of letting it go, I just had Musa go and get him. And Musa did get him. Guy ended up slapping himself 19 times. That's where that one came from. So afterwards, that's when I met Amber and I found out who she was and everything that she went through and found out how bad things were with him. So this is going to be a very interesting experience to hear the other side of it too.
Yeah.
So many times with the family members are being contacted or being harassed, and it's kind of hard to understand that point of view, and not very many people have had that point of view. So it's going to be interesting to see that side of it and see why you have to leave the family alone and let them deal with it. And even still, there's always criticisms of, well, this person doesn't care, or most of the time they're in complete shock. They have no idea that this was happening. It comes out of nowhere. You get a call randomly and you think like, is this person being threatened into having to say these things? Then the realization hits you that, yes, this is actually happening and it is what's going on. Then you have to deal with that. So you're dealing with somebody who might be the absolute love of your life, might even be the reason that you're alive at this point.
Right.
And now you're seeing this side of them that you never knew existed. So you're dealing with an existential crisis in yourself on top of all the other insane shit that's going on. When this happens, there's a massive ripple effect in all directions. It's not just, okay, we do the catch, I go home and poof, here's the video, everybody's cool.
Right.
After that, there's a giant effect that happens.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's definitely what I want to show.
That's like the one thing that we say all the time. I think like catchers, decoys, like we remind people, don't attack the families, you know, it's not their fault. So it makes it hard. But yeah, so she'll be on around 3:15. So you guys will get your story, which I'm excited for.
Are you, Jules?
Robyn, you made it.
Yeah. Today's been okay. Today's been okay. Yeah, you know. I didn't sleep.
I wasn't sure. Sure if you were gonna get your device hooked up.
Oh no, that wasn't the. I just was one of those nights, you know, where you just can't shut it down, you know, you can't shut it off. Yep. But other than that, it's been it was a pretty good week, you know, so that was good.
Good. Yeah, I was gonna say, because when I talked to you last night, you seemed like, you know, trying to get out of that headspace, you know.
Very iffy, but last night, that's why I think I didn't want to sleep, because it was going to be one of those. The night before was one of those wake up screaming nights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I just, you know how it is. It's been a really, really bad month. It's been a bad year, but it's been this month. You'd figure after like 31 years, you know, and it's still gotta, I gotta deal with this shit.
Right. I mean, that's like the biggest thing people don't understand either, is that it doesn't go away. For some, you know, if you work on it, it can get easier for sure. But
it's up and down, but it never leaves your brain. It does not leave your brain. And that's, I mean, it's like when I went to therapy a few years back, because I just really was just done. You know, I was just like, I just couldn't get out of bed for like 2 months. And that's just not me.
Right.
But this therapist, because I'm not big on, I don't trust people.
Yeah.
I just don't trust people. You know, I have to really, I sit back and watch, you know, I don't. Right. And I used to be a hairdresser, like real social and, you know, but it's pretend, you know what I mean? I would put it on, you know, and then like my real me was just like extremely shy, introverted, didn't want to, you know, if I had to go somewhere with my husband, saying, I could put it on. He has like 10 million friends. He's really good. And I've known him since I'm 19, before I even met that douche, you know, but so, you know, so he's like the only safe person at this point in my whole life. And my own family, like they just don't want to hear anything. And I'm like, well, he's finally gotten caught. You know, he's going to court, like he finally got caught, and it's sad because he's hurt so many little girls.
Yeah.
And for the 3 that they're going for, not even including his own daughter, you know, my daughter.
Yeah.
for every one of those, how many more? I mean, this isn't online shit. This was real shit.
Yeah.
You know, I read the charges, the DA, you know, when they contacted me, I heard what he did. And, you know, I learned even more, you know, my daughter started getting flashback. And I'm just like, God, when you just think like I call him the POS because I can't refer to him by name. I can't. He's a nothing to me. Like, it's like I don't know what that piece of shit is. I don't. There's no soul. You know, I'm bad enough he was mean to me. Hint: never marry somebody on the rebound after you've known them for 2 weeks when you're like 22. I mean, I was like these impulsive, you know, I don't know.
But it's like, you know, like I said to you before too, at that age, like you're still growing, you're still learning, you know, you're 22. In my mind, that's still young, you know.
Oh my God.
Mentally,
I was on my own since about 15. So to me, I was just impulsive. I just wanted a safe place. You know, I could never find a safe place. And that was like the most unsafe place to be.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I had no clue, and I'm still paying for it. Thank God she was young. Thank God it wasn't an ongoing. I mean, that's what therapy tells you, you know. The complex PTSD is because, well, how do you explain to me? It's like it's like you're in a war theater with your child on your back.
Yeah.
And you're on such high alert, and you're carrying her and you're going over dead bodies. It's just, and you're trying not to hit the minefield, and people are blowing up around you, and you've got her on your back as she's getting older and bigger, but you're surviving to help her survive. And now that she's grown and is married and having kids, empty nest is not the word. I had like a complete meltdown. I didn't want to let her know, but my high alert, the girl, she bought a house at 25 years old. She's living a mile from me. She didn't want to go away from me. She's my only child, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I would find, like, if she didn't answer a text, I'd go drive by just to make sure, like, because now I'm like, oh my God, she's living alone. Oh my God, this and that. Like, you know, what?
All the fears, like, driving hard, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
what
like,
if something
now
happens and I can't get to them that fast, or, you know?
And I couldn't shut it off.
Yeah.
So the doctor said to me, now you can put her down. You know, you're not carrying her. You're out of the war theater. But that's what PTSD is. It doesn't matter if it's not a real war or if it's whatever trauma, how big or small, affects everyone differently.
Yep.
You know, so the way I was describing, the way I was, my body language, and just like I'm in the fetal position sitting there, I don't even want to talk to this guy. Like, you know, I don't trust anybody to even talk about something like this, let alone the weather, because I feel like they're like lying or judging, and they don't even know my story. It's just the weirdest. It made me a completely different person.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's so many judgmental people out there.
My own father, my own family. We've blocked them all. I'm done. I can't take it. They're very dysfunctional. That's not the lie. I'm the squeaky wheel because I'm too sensitive with all this stuff happening, and I'm supposed to be like a soldier and just forget about it. And my father said to me a couple weeks ago, "Why do you have such rage?" I said, "What rage are you talking about? I'm just tired of putting up with everybody's shit. Like, stop criticizing every move I make. I'm not doing nothing. I'm having a hard time. You think you get a little support?
Yeah.
Just understand that I'm a little not wanting to answer the phone for 2 weeks. I'm not even like talking about this shit."
Yeah.
And my dad says to me, you know, well, he's an asshole anyway, I hate to say, but, you know, I tried. But anyway, he says to me, you know, and this is so not me, I don't lie. One of my brothers is the biggest storytelling liar. He used to get the shit beat out of him. I would go home and tell them, I just broke Sharon's radio when I was like 10 years old because I didn't want to get in trouble lying. My father said, you know what? I'm starting to wonder if you lied about your daughter, if that even happened. I said, but I lied? That's her story. What?
Right.
What are you talking about? Where have you been? I'm the mom that has the kids at my house because I don't want them going. I'm taking the girls to the beach. I'm the helicopter times 1,000, you know?
Right.
The moms could trust me because I want her out of my sight, you know, but I tried to let her have her freedom, but I made my house the house, you know, me and my husband. And I'm like, you think I would do something like that? You know, I'm done. I'm done. You're the one that's a liar. You're the one that cheats on your wife.
It makes it easier for him to not deal with it, though. That's why, you know, he doesn't.
Well, yeah, and I get that. I understand because it's too
but
hard.
it makes it harder for you, you know.
But Jules, don't you feel like this? This is how I've always felt about the situation.
Yeah.
You can't unring that bell.
Right. Absolutely not.
So once you say it to somebody, especially somebody you're close to that you would think you're not asking them for anything, but you can't even ask them to understand, but just understand me for a minute. Yeah. And they don't, and they're just like, well, why'd you marry him into? I told you not to marry him. He looks like an asshole. It's my fault.
Yes.
What happened to her?
They're very quick to blame, you know. I mean, because like I said last night, it shifts it off of them. They feel like it's easier to make you seem like you were in the wrong, like it was your fault, than to have to confront the whole issue at hand, you know, from the source, you know. It's not your fault that happened to your daughter. It's
easier to.
I know those words are they're just words to me, though.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, because that's what I remember saying to her when she told me about it. You know, this is a very smart little girl. She was gifted and talented. She's a radiologist. She's just like way beyond me. I'm so proud of her like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's okay. She was so young, and she says, Mom, I just don't even like consider it in my world. And she's the type of person that says, and I hate when people say shit like that, like as a crutch, like for stuff, you know, like she's, so I did a good job. I know I did.
Yeah.
She's more worried about how I feel about it because she knows
protecting her mama.
Yeah. She's like, I don't like what he did to you more than you don't like what he did to me. You know, choking me while I'm pregnant and all this crazy shit. I mean, I did not know this animal. So, I mean, I got out of as soon as that was it, out.
Yeah.
Police, CPS. I'm calling a hotline. My girlfriend, I don't know what the fuck to do from what she just told me. I can't even wrap my head around this shit.
Right.
You know, I knew he was a big asshole and I was getting out of it, but I couldn't wrap my brain around that. And of course, his family, I can't even go there. I was very respectful to them. I would even let them see her. There was no court order. He couldn't see her. He had to go for a psych evaluation to even get a 1-hour visit with the person of my choice, which I made my dad, because my dad, you know, is an asshole. And he never went, never did the evaluation, never did, you know, of course not. And would call me every couple of years. I don't know how he got my number. I just want to know how she is. I go, who the fuck is this? It better not even be.
Right. Yeah.
How the fuck do you think she is? You're such a monster. Like I remember his mother yelling at me once because this was the last time I let them see her. I didn't know where he lived. He was in jail for a while for no child support. I asked him to sign her off, but he wouldn't. I don't know why. He's just a douche. Right. And, you know, like I said, I'll give up all the money, you know, whatever. I don't care. I just want him gone. So he wouldn't do it. And
Right.
he shows up after my ex-mother-in-law promised me. It was an overnighter at my sister-in-law's, a big Italian family.
Yep.
You know, fine, you know, because there was no visitation. I was a 24-hour mom, which is,
Yep.
I didn't mind it, but, you know.
Right. It's like, this
My
is what
friends
we
would
do.
bitch. I don't want to give him an extra week. And I'm like, are you nuts? Here, I wish I had that luxury to just go, here you go. You know,
Right.
no, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But I remember his mother, I told my daughter, she was about 6 or 7-ish, and I was going to work at this hair salon. And I said to her, you know the rules, you know, because I always told her the truth, you know, your dad's sick and the judge said until he goes and gets better, you know, because it could not be her fault at all. And she was too young to really get it, you know, what had happened to her until.
How old was she again?
3.5.
Okay. That's what I thought it was like 2 or 3. I couldn't remember. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just a weird memory that I mean, I know exactly. She had that memory. I remember her bringing out the nightgown like 3 years later. It was her favorite. We all screamed for ice cream. I could still see it. And when I went into the detective's office that last time, when he told me the DA didn't have enough evidence to do anything, you know, after they were going to arrest him, I'm in hiding. I mean, this was the scariest part of my life because he was threatening to shoot me, you know. And I remember bringing it in his office because he was like, well, if you can bring that in. And I go, she knows exactly. It was this time of year. It was right before Easter, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, the DA is not going to do it. There's not enough evidence. And I'm so sorry because I know that we're going through this with you. And I remember just throwing it across the room into the trash can. And I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here or what I said to him. It was real graphic. I kind of said, what did the baby have to have fucking blood and bleep all over her? And me had taken pictures of it and for them to do anything? Are you kidding me?
Right.
You know, like I just was very, I can't say disappointed or furious. I was just in shock. Like, he's just going to walk away from this like everything else. Then to find out 1.5 years ago, I'm getting a call out of nowhere from a detective in Bergen County where my aunt lives in New Jersey. And he's just like looking for me. And I'm like, what do I have, a ticket or something from 20 years ago?
Right.
And, he's like, you know, I'm so glad I found you. This is Christmas Day for me because if you sign, I can open up the CPS files. You went to court on this.
Yeah.
You know, we've been watching him for almost 2 years. I mean, this is a big operation for him, on him.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even know all the details, you know.
Right.
They're offering to let me do like a Zoom impact state, but they're not even there yet. They just started a status hearing, and I was supposed to hear back from him and last week, and I haven't. I left a couple messages, but I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to drive myself insane.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to watch it like the OJ trial, because that's when this happened to my daughter. I couldn't even go to work. I would sit there crying watching the OJ trial, and then until I had to get her from school so I could be fine for her.
Right.
You know, it's like 2 people, but that worked for me. But I don't want to do that with this. I think I won't survive that. I'll just find out what happens at the end.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the impact statement because I really have nothing to say to that piece of shit. Well, what is there that I can say? He wouldn't hear it. I love animals. He's a fucking alien. He's not anything that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Obviously he enjoys hurting people, so I will die myself before I let him see what he's done to me. It won't matter. His calls, now that I look back, where he would call and just ask how she was, and I would end up hanging up. There were like 3 of them over the years. That they're, to me, you know, admitting it.
Yep.
So I would end up hanging up going, how did he get my fucking number? Why doesn't he just die already? I'm looking back now and thinking, is he calling me every time he's doing something to some little girl? Like, what? Because it was bizarre.
Right.
He was
like
just a weirdo anyway. Yeah. And I'm like, I actually like slept with this piece of garbage. I actually just, how could I have been married to something like that? You know, you feel like a real piece of garbage yourself as the mother of that child.
You feel that way, but like I said, we make so many random decisions, you know, and
worst of my entire life.
You know,
I would have been better off just marrying some homeless guy on the street.
Right.
I mean, of course I shouldn't have married anybody at all. And when I was ready to leave, I won't even get into that story, but I was going to play softball. I was living in Texas, but my aunts and uncles are my one uncle's younger than my husband. My mom, big family. My mom was the oldest of 7. So my aunts, I don't have to call them aunt. They're like my age. So we were playing softball and stuff. And they were beeping for me, and I was trying to get to the car. And of course, he wouldn't let me. And I ended up getting pregnant. And I had already told my mother that I was done with him. You know, he had gambled. All of a sudden, he was gambling, and I couldn't pay the rent on the apartment. You know, it was craziness.
Right. Yeah.
And now I find out I'm pregnant. And the worst decision was me going, well, I guess I really have to try to give it a shot, because it's not just my baby.
Right. I think we all do it, though, especially like as a mom. Like our mindset is to nurture and to try to secure some type of stability for our child. You know what I mean? And
especially if you didn't have it, right?
You know, I thought, like, stayed in that relationship, an abusive relationship, for, you know, over 8 years, thinking
that's a lifetime.
Change, you know, it will work. You know, things will get better in whatnot.
I know that mindset. We're in denial. Like, what the fuck?
And and it's like
a weird thing.
Hey, Musa.
What's up, everybody?
Is that Musa?
It is Musa.
Musa, it's Robyn. I was supposed to move back to Pennsylvania. I just love you.
We were talking about you last night, and I told her that you might pop in, and she was all excited because
from day one, you are a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Oh man, when you are focused, I've not seen anyone like that. I love all catchers, but I don't see that focus when you are like, gotta get one tonight.
It's time for catching. It's time for catching.
Yeah,
it's just passion.
He's like quick to like, I'll send a message or something, and he's like, yo, Jules, I'm decoying. I'll call you back.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's such an awesome thing to see. Yes. And you're like a hometown boy for me, because I'm from New Jersey originally too.
Jersey in the house.
Yep. Jersey City. I was born up there, and then
Dirty City.
You were Newark, right?
Hudson County. I was
Hudson County. Essex. Yep. Yeah, there's some bad places now. I mean, they were crazy then, but holy shit.
Yeah, they bad.
They're real bad. I wouldn't go up there for a visit.
I'm glad it's him and Rockstar cleaning up Pennsylvania, like, you know.
Oh, hell yeah. Rockstar, the best vibe ever.
Yeah, he does have the best vibe
ever. There's just something about him. He reminds me of my childhood best friend's son. Probably the same age too. He looks like him. He talks like him, and I'm like, I just love this guy. And him and Musa, when you guys team up, I don't know. I just love it when you got that fool that came from New Mexico on the bus.
Oh, with me, Rockstar got that one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That one was.
That was, and the way you guys do your question, your attitudes, like they go together. They don't clash.
Yeah.
You know how some will clash.
Rockstar he had to feed off my energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I jumped into
You
the
have
deep
that
end.
alpha
No
energy.
at all. Like first catch, second catch ever, I'm with Musa. You know, it's like so. I kind of I learned quickly, and I
Oh yeah.
So
that's why I said we got Musa 1 and 2. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm telling you, you should have classes for that shit. I'm the one that always tells you should be a bounty hunter too. If this ever
bounty hunter. Yeah, they told me to be a bounty hunter. I told them that, like when I first started doing it, they hit me up and asked me that I wanted to be a bounty hunter. And I'm like, yeah, I could do it on the side.
Yeah.
I said, this is my main thing, but I could do that on the side. That's more dangerous than what I do.
Oh, yes, it is. I was thinking that too with the kids and stuff, you know, maybe at another time. Because you're aging slow, my friend. You don't look your age. I'm jealous.
That's what I always say. I always say to Musa, I'm like, people just get mad at us because black don't crack.
It sure don't. Listen, my mother's second husband. My mother's second husband was African American, right? Charles. He was so cool. He was in the military. She met him at the hospital, veteran VA she worked at in San Antonio.
Yeah.
The nicest guy you ever meet.
Yeah.
I said, Ma, every time I come and visit you, he's looking younger and younger. He's starting to look younger than me. What in the hell is going on? So we used to laugh. I mean, you know, my mother he was gorgeous anyway, but holy shit, I'm like, why don't you age? I really think it's the sun don't really hit you like it does.
The sun, I get
the melanin.
It's like a reflection of the sun.
Yeah.
So I've never had sunburn in my life.
Oh, I had 3rd degree. Right. You can see blue veins in my legs. That's how white I am. Like I'm gonna die here in Florida.
All day. That's how my daughter
is.
And you don't feel it?
My
mother was like olive
literally
skin.
Don't believe.
But my daughter, she could get sunburned though.
Yeah. But one of my girlfriends got a sunburn once. We were up at the pool, and I'm like, I got a bad burn. She goes, I got a sunburn too. And I said, no, you do not, do you? And she took her bathing suit top off, and she did. I said, that's a first for me. But I guess if you're light enough, huh?
My 19-year-old, she gets sunburned too. My youngest daughter gets sunburned. My 19-year-old gets sunburned.
Oh, that shit is painful. That's no joke. That is no joke. I couldn't sit for a week. I never
dealt with sunburn until like last year. I got a small one on my shoulders, and I was like, bro, that shit don't even.
Oh, that's it? Try falling asleep for 2.5 hours at your pool at the condo. Nobody wakes you up, and you got people laughing at your ass. Because I had a day off from work, and my daughter was at my desk. I had blisters. I had to keep my AC on 68. I couldn't take a shower. There was some kind of cream that my husband's now was my boyfriend then, you know, I knew forever. He would come down 2 hours from where he lived to put this shit on me. And the blisters were so bad, I couldn't like bend. Right. I was in such fucking pain. You can't feel the temperature difference. So I had to be naked. I couldn't put no clothes on. I was like throwing up and stuff. It was like shy of heat stroke. Huh? It was bad. I should have took pictures of that shit. But I sunblock it now like no joke, because that's going to be skin cancer. I'm like, oh, I'm in skin cancer on my ass cheeks. That'll be fun.
Like, that's not going to feel good eventually.
The back of my thighs were awful, but I was so white. You know, I was like a freckly kid, but you could see through my skin. My daughter is whiter than me. Right. And she gets like a rash. She don't like the beach or the sun or anything. I grew up with that because we moved to Woodbridge. So I was always down the shore, down Lavalette and Ortley Beach by Seaside.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's why we moved here too, Cape Coral, because I'm 10 minutes from Fort Myers Beach, which blew away in the hurricane. But they got all the beaches here. But I got my pool, and you know, so I'm good with that. Sorry, you guys. I know it's freezing up there.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll check.
It's nice out here today.
Pennsylvania.
How was it?
See, I only got a t-shirt on.
It's like
It's like
65
50
degrees in Pennsylvania right now.
Oh, see, we got like 54 today.
I'm not even going to tell you all then. I won't say a word.
I don't need to wear sleeves.
Robin's like, I won't rub it in your face.
I ain't going to go right now and show you my pool because it's like 82 degrees
right now.
That's perfect.
What?
It's 68 degrees right now.
Yep.
Well, that would be cold for me. That what they tell you is true. It changes your what you feel cold when you move to a hotter place.
Yeah.
68, I'll be putting a jacket on.
That's how like when I go to Florida or something like that, when we was down in the casino, man, it'd be freezing in that casino though, man.
Oh yeah. It's like your body temperature.
To get warm.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I do the beach here. Like now, it's good to go to the beach. I can't go in the summertime. You can't go. The water's too warm. I like the Atlantic better than the Gulf. It's like a bathtub.
I don't like the cold water.
You don't?
Nope.
I mean, like the beach.
If it's hot outside, like I don't want the water to be hot, but I don't want it to be like cold where I'm like can barely stick my toes in it. You know, and that's how I'd be getting out here.
Yeah, up there. Yeah, I never. That's one state. You know, my mother used to go every year with her best friend for years to Tanglewood to the symphony thing and the thing. They had the same bed and breakfast. I always wanted to go, but I was never invited. It was her and her friend's girl trip. So,
right.
But I always planned on checking it out, you know, eventually, but then we moved down here. So we were moving to Pennsylvania last year. This time I was supposed to have moved there, but that blew the hell out of the water. Right. So, but then the cold weather came and I was like, I think it's probably best.
Yeah.
Because down here, like I said, my husband, you know, he got the motorcycle and all his friends and he went to bike night. Was it yesterday or the day before? Or Saturday? I don't know what day it is. I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
So bike night starts now again, and it's I like this part.
Right.
I can get out of here in July. Yeah. This part, yeah. But you know. But anyway, I'm so glad to actually see Musa and Rockstar.
Yeah.
You're all on Rumble now?
Yeah, I'm on everything.
Yeah.
I think I got you all on all of that.
I'm on Rumble. I'm back on YouTube. I'm back on everything. They knock me out. They don't take me out for long. I'm coming right back.
Yeah.
I'm like a wart that don't go away.
Musa's too damn persistent, you know.
I got too many emails to let them stop me.
Right.
I make too many emails every day.
Yeah.
Well, not every day, but anytime I get banned, I gotta make me another email. So I gotta put out emails for days.
Right.
That is just so fucked.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm sorry. I mean, exposure to me is key.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If that shit could have been out, maybe those girls, his wife that he married, that piece of shit, he never worked. He would babysit all her cousins and stuff. She was working all the time. And the kids they had together. That's who he was. He had hands on because it's a secret. I mean, they put a little article in the paper, but it's a secret. And I swear to God, let him get away with it because I will fly up there. I got family still up there. I got a brother up there in North Arlington still. I go up there and post their shit around. I may do more.
I got a question for everybody.
I catch a charge for that.
I got a question for everybody. I want to hear input on it.
Okay.
Like, how do y'all feel? What do you feel like with the say like it's a couple, and they and the husband. One of them was accused of what we do. say like if they was actually caught by one of us, and the father, say if the father they have a family and everything like that. What do you think like the wife should do? Like should they cut them out of the life of the kids and everything?
You mean if is that are you asking like if you got a married couple and
how should the situation be with the children now?
Because the husband is a pedo?
Yeah, that he got caught by like one of the predator catchers.
He should be out that fucking door, and she should take the information and get total sole custody, just like I did. Because that was my husband molesting my kid.
Do you think that they should not be a part of their own kid's life anymore since they did that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was gonna say if she's involved, she shouldn't be in the kids' lives either.
Absolutely not.
No. What I'm saying is.
Oh wait. You're meaning
like, like should she keep the kids away from the father since he was accused or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Absolutely.
Like me, I don't think so.
If it's verified,
if it was like I see if it's towards like I think it should be supervised visits after that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Snatch the kid away from the father because that kid doesn't see that father as that person.
Okay, I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I see. If somebody else,
it should be like straight supervised.
He did that to some other kid. Right. He didn't hurt his own kid. You're saying?
Yeah, he didn't hurt his
I
own
still
kid.
wouldn't trust
him. If he hurt his own kids, I say that they should be cut out of their lives.
Okay.
But
that's what I did. Absolutely.
But I think that they should have like straight supervised visits. I don't think that they should just snatch the kids right out of the parents.
For online, you're talking about like if they didn't actually molest a kid, like it was online stuff, and there's no.
Even say they got accused of molesting or something like that. Yep. Say if it's by the cops got them.
Right.
Cops got them. See, I'm a bad one to answer. I'd say take the kids away because that ripple effect, one day that kid may grow up and look at you and go, why did you even allow me around him?
Knowing what, like, why did you not have me up? Why did you keep my dad away from me? It could be both.
I didn't.
It could be both sides.
Yeah.
I would say I didn't take your dad away. Your dad your dad is sick. I had to tell my daughter, your dad is sick, and until he gets help and goes for the psychological evaluations, and the judge said I get sole custody, and that's it's not my fault.
Right.
I just know I have to now extra protect her.
Yeah.
I just think
I wouldn't even want the notion of somebody wanting a child in that way anywhere around any of my kids. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. But that's because it was my.
I'd be afraid the potential danger of him.
Yeah, the potential.
That's why I think it has to be regulated, supervised visit.
Right.
Like court appointed supervised visit.
If they had to do it.
Yeah. Huh?
If they had to do it, because sometimes the judge is a pedo himself. If there has to be a forced visit, I would look at it as it would definitely have to be supervised with like a probation person.
That's what I say like anybody that was caught with anything like we're doing what we do, and they have kids.
Yes.
Like the visitation, it should be visitation. All right, even if they around the kids, it should be like
overnight.
It should be straight supervised visits.
Yeah, I can agree.
When my ex piece of shit was accused, we'll say, because they were going to arrest him and everything for what he did to our daughter.
Oh, you froze, Robyn.
I thought it was nice.
Yeah, she is frozen.
We'll give her a second.
Yeah.
I'm out in the woods and the wind is blowing like hell here.
Right.
I thought it was mine.
You know what's crazy, yo? Anytime I'm over on here with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm on a panel or something, there's always some predators who want to hit me up. They want to talk to me.
Of course.
They're
everywhere.
I say, it bring me luck. It bring me luck when I go on these things. They bring me luck. Y'all bring me luck.
Should come up here with me and Rockstar more often.
Yep. See.
Yeah.
Listen.
I wear a T-Coy shirt. Every time I done put that shirt on, I done caught somebody in it.
Really?
Every time I done put T-Coy shirt on, that same day I done caught somebody.
Yep. You came
That's a good luck charm right there.
2 or 3 people I done caught that same day, and I had that shirt on. I ain't planned no catches or nothing. I just had the shirt on. Because I never really had no planned catches.
It is luck, because that night that we had that catch.
Before I forget, when they gave the supervised visitation with this probation lady, it was a 1 hour on Sunday, and it was close to my house, but I was supposed to arrive 15 minutes before or after, I can't even remember. And the first 2 times he didn't show up. So I'm sitting in the car with my, 4-year-old, I'm sitting in the damn car, and she's waiting for him, and he don't show up. He can't face me and shit now, I guess, whatever. But he didn't show up. Then when he did show up, there was no contact, because I told them everything, how bad he was to me and beating me and shit. So anyway, I didn't like the idea, but I had to go along with it because it's the court. And I would tell her, you'll get to see him and stuff. So this lady would sit there and they would play games or whatever on the floor or whatever. It was an hour. And I didn't, I would just go to the next parking lot and wait and then go get her and be positive about it because of her. And inside I'm like sick. And when she wrote her report, this like an old German lady, she did not like me. I don't know why. She loved him. They get along great. He plays games with her on the floor, this and that. My attorney, I called her Stevie Nicks. That's what she looked like. She didn't give a shit. And she was just like, this is the most biased report. The judge agreed. He said, I don't want the visitations with her. This doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. Not that you're expecting him to do anything to the kid, but he's not showing up consistently at all. And when he does, he usually would leave early. She's a little girl, so I don't know that they were helpful. Because then when I got sole custody, the judge said, by law, I have to give him 1 hour. I'll do every Sunday, but I'll let you pick the person. So I picked my father because I knew there was no way he would ever sit in a room with my father after that. So.
So he wasn't definitely coming. He's not even coming to the visitation.
No, he never ever went to one. Nope. He reached out to her. He wrote her a letter when she was about 17 with his phone number. He wanted to talk to her, and I left it up to her because she was way above her years. She's real smart, this girl. But me, I'm at the bathroom door listening, and I hear her, and she's like, all I want you to do is admit it and apologize. You can't even do that. And I want Granddad to know that I didn't lie and that my mother didn't lie, because none of them talked to me because of your lying. And I'm listening to her like, awesome. Like, she's good. And he did apologize. He wanted to meet her at a restaurant. And my husband was like, the only way that's going to happen is at the mall, and me and your mother are going to be in the parking lot looking in the window of that damn restaurant.
Like I'll be in the next ski house.
Absolutely. That's an age where, she's got to figure it out. And she's like, he apologized to me and stuff, Mom. She goes, but I look at him and I just don't give a shit. But I have little brothers and sisters. So she would go visit them, and he would just like go in another room. He would never tell. He said, I won't do that. I won't tell my family what happened. He tells her that. So her thing is like, I don't care if he's dead or alive. He's nothing.
Like, does the family know? The family don't know about his past actions.
Oh, I told him. Fucking hell, yeah, I told him. The new wife and stuff. She was so young. It was like her first boyfriend. He was like 10 years older than her. Obviously, he's weird anyway. But I met her and I've spoken to her, and she had asked me because she found the divorce paper, which was like only 2 pages with all this stuff in it about what he did to Brianne, to my daughter. And she called me and she was like, you don't even sound anything like he made it out to be. Like that you made this all up and this and that. I said, no, I didn't make it up. His family will never, ever. They always back him up. He burnt down a bowling alley when he was a kid. He did bad shit. I had no idea who this person was when I met him. You know, he beat her. He and they had 4 kids together, and I don't know. I've met them and they're great kids. My daughter is in contact with them because they're divorced. They're done. She got done with him, marrying a good guy. But he molested her family members and did some questionable shit with her little kids that are grown now. So it's just a effed up story. So when I hear like, should they be near their father? It really chaps my ass a lot when they have children in the house.
Yeah.
That like that one Musa that you did where he sent you to the neighbor's house first.
Yeah, he was molesting his kids.
Yeah, I knew it. And you were like not wanting to leave them kids in there.
Like the state police arrested him, not that day, but it prompted them to ask questions to the kids and stuff. And it come to find out
those little
that
girls were killing me. That one got to me. That was like a trigger night because I was like, oh no, nope. Those girls, they don't even know how unsafe they are. And
took them right out of that house right then and there.
Musa, thank you so much for that one. That's a personal thank you. I think I even wrote that to you. That's a personal. That was like, that makes you different from a lot of the rest. It's the heart in there, and you think about those kids, and you think about what if.
That's what made me want to call the police even more because them kids was in that house.
Hell yes. If they got a tendency, it's all like sexual.
I just did a catch in man, I can't even pronounce the name of the town it was. But the guy he had what he did he had his two nieces and nephews in the house like upstairs.
That shit bugs me, man. That shit, yeah. So that when you pose that question, when I see the catches where they say, and you'll question them, you ever touch your own daughter or any of that shit, and they're like, no, and then, or Alex will say something like, yeah, I talked to you. I don't trust them because I don't think this ain't like how people say it's like alcoholism, it's this or that. I don't believe that. I believe it's their orientation that they're born with.
And since I've been doing this, a lot of them, they've been molested themselves.
I understand that too.
Like that. But I don't get that. What I don't get about that is like, you should know what it feels like. So why would you go back around and do the same thing? That should not be an
excuse. And using that as an excuse is a real manipulation tactic in my eyes.
I'm not saying that's the excuse, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of them that was molested themselves.
Yeah.
Like I get that.
Don't you have like a lot of fathers and sons? Like, is it like a genetic thing?
Because they probably have been molested by somebody. It might not even been a family member or something like that. But I hear that a lot. Like, yeah, I'm like, I ask them like, yo, what did this ever happen to you? They say, yeah. I'm like, so why would you go around and turn it around and do the same thing to somebody else's child when you knew how it felt?
They got no soul. They got no heart. They're very selfish, basically. It's all about that 5 minute. Like, to me, I don't understand it. I mean, where's the protective paternal instinct? Do you know what I mean? Like you would your kids.
They be up a lot of opportunists.
Different, but you know they're both different. But usually, father very protective of neighborhood children even.
You can't even hear.
So to hurt a child instead of protect them, what the fuck? What's missing?
Hi, Amber.
I'll never be able to understand it. For years I tried. I can't.
Oh, that's Amber.
I don't know.
That's the motorcycle girl.
Yeah.
Why am I not here now?
That's who I thought you was talking about. Julie.
Yep.
You heard me, Julie?
Yeah,
that's who I thought you was
that's what I
talking
said.
about.
I had like 8 different group chats going on, and so I thought one of the ones from last week was her, but I had the name mixed up. That's why I was like, nope, never mind. You was right.
I'm like, no, motorcycle dude. I'm like, yo, motorcycle slapper. I said, no, that's a different one.
Right.
He sparked up. Yo, he was like my first best slaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those were good ones.
They were.
I don't know what I did. I can't hear nothing.
I don't know.
It might have messed up, Robyn. You might need to drop down and come back up, maybe.
Like drop out and then do it again?
Yeah, you might need to.
Yeah, because I can't. I hate my phone. I effed it up somehow. All right, I'll try it again if I don't get back.
Okay. All right, Miss Amber. How are you?
A little nervous. I'm not a very social person, so I don't know. I have a little anxiety.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
The first time I told my story, I had so much anxiety. I was like, I felt like I could pee my pants. I was like, I'm so, but
I'm used to telling my friends and stuff, but like I'm just not used to like telling people like as a group of a lot of people.
Right. Well, I mean, there's not usually, many people in here to begin with, so that's a little more calming for people too, honestly. But it's like it makes it easier when you kind of like focus on people you're used to, like Musa and Rockstar,
Yeah.
So, and we had Rockstar give a little background on the catch.
Okay.
And I don't know, Musa, if you want to say anything about the catch before Miss Amber tells her story.
About the catch?
Yeah.
Ain't really nothing to say about it. Like, I caught him.
Yep.
He got him.
Oh, you did.
But he got caught. He took the bait. He shouldn't have took it.
Well, finally.
He's the one that should not have took that bait.
Yeah.
Anybody that has kids, they should definitely not take no bait.
I mean, that guy had everything, to be honest. Like, after finding out everything that was going on, he literally had everything in life that you want.
Nothing was good enough for him.
And he pushed so hard on my decoy. Like, there was a time where there was like 35 or 36 unanswered messages in a row.
But
and
guess
then
what?
I'd say one thing back and there'd be like 30 more.
Guess what? I was insecure. He told me I was insecure, that he was never doing anything wrong. It was all me.
Wow. What a
never.
You know what?
I hate when guys use that one. Know they doing some bullshit.
I was just gonna say that's when you know
you're
you're not
bullshit.
wrong.
You just plan on it. You plan on certain. You plan on certain wording, which make motherfuckers that ain't doing nothing. It makes it hard for females to trust somebody that's not really doing something. Because soon they see like some certain triggers, they believe that other person is doing the same fucking exact thing, and it hurts. It hurts them to heal it, because I don't know how they heal from that.
It's very manipulative to do that to somebody. I thought I was worthless for a very long time because of him.
Wow.
That's like somebody saying, yo, I swear to God, oh, I swear on my kids or something like that. That's like, oh yeah, I gotta believe you now. And then you swore like that. I definitely gotta believe you.
Yeah.
Right.
So somebody saying like, man, no, you just insecure right now. You blame it on your insecurities. Like, nah, man, you doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that he knew what love is to me or to the kids or anything. I don't think he understands what love is.
No, I mean, I feel like, if they could treat you the way that he had, then chances are he has no idea. It's, satisfaction.
Like how old is he though?
He just turned 35.
Just turned 35?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought he was a little younger, but yeah, that's old enough to fucking have your shit together.
The chats, everything was always about him, like what he wanted, what he was doing, what he could do, like this girl, that girl. It was always about him, like
Very
what.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I made life about him because him and the kids were my life.
Yeah.
They were everything to me. My kids are still everything to me.
Right.
That was like my goal. I wanted to be a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Well, you were, and you did an amazing job from me getting to know you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and he, he's the one who took that away, because he clearly couldn't get over the greediness and the being selfish and,
Everything would have been fine with me and him had I ignored everything he was doing and let him do whatever he wanted, degrade me, treat me like garbage. If I just ignored it and let him do whatever he wanted, he would still be here doing all that. But I got sick of it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sick of you treating me like this.
Yeah. You absolutely needed to put your foot down,
Like a lot of females don't know that men are trainable as fuck. It's like if you put your foot down from the beginning and don't take the bullshit from the beginning instead of like a couple times after, then you sick of it. Like, yo, I'm tired of this. If it's right from the rip, like certain things right from the beginning, like you're not gonna violate it because there's certain type of consequence for it. Like, yo, if you fuck up, you fuck up. I don't give a fuck if I love you or not. If you fuck up, it's over. If people know that and understand that if it's over for one mistake, it's over. If you don't get no second chances or nothing, it's the chances that people they're giving them the people that's giving them opening the doorway to do more stuff.
Yeah, it makes them think it's okay to do what he's doing.
And
they forgave me for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, yeah, certain things that is you can't come back from. Certain lies, you had to be built right from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, we had no strong foundation because the red flags started so early. But the thing is, when they started, I was already pregnant with our son. And then it's like, oh, do I want to have another kid without a dad? Or do I want to suck it up and try and make this work? Right. So I was trapped. And Liam was not an accident. He wanted Liam. Yeah. Before we even had Liam, we had a miscarriage. He could have left it.
How was his actions way before then? Before you got pregnant?
I got pregnant with Liam, he love bombed the hell out of me. He treated me like gold. He treated my son and daughter that I had before him like gold. But it was like, as I was pregnant with Liam, we moved into a different house. He started building up his life again. Because when I met him, he was just living out of his work truck and sleeping on his friend's floor. Right. So he started building up his life with me. And then I started to become garbage to him. Because he was making his life better.
No, his social crowd was getting bigger.
That's what was happening. Everyone was
his social crowd was getting bigger, so his options got bigger. And so since his options got bigger, his head got bigger with thinking that it's more greener pastures on the other side.
Right. Yeah. And he was getting attention, which was great. He was building his life up. But he was building it with me. He didn't do it on his own.
Right.
We were building our lives together.
Yeah.
He got so cocky, and that's the word I'll use. Yep. Because that's exactly what happened. But then I just became worthless to him.
Because he got comfortable in what he was doing, and he felt as though he could use you as, a doormat, really. I mean, to him, it's a revolving door. No matter what he does to you, no matter what he says, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? That's their mindset when they get comfortable like that, you know, which is sad. It's sad. Because it seems like, you know, you were doing everything you needed to do. So, you know, it's not a failing
It's
you know.
not her.
No.
It's not your fault.
No, not at
From
all.
what he does, anything like that. Nothing you did could have changed anything, the outcome of what his actions was going to be.
Yep.
I know. Absolutely. I tried a lot. He had anger management. He had everything. Nothing helped.
He didn't want, like, he didn't grow up yet to the actual man. There's a point in your life when you grow up, like some people grow up before their time, some people don't, and it takes a little longer for some people to grow up. But you know if somebody grown or not, like by certain actions and stuff like that, like certain ways and actions, you know if they're a grown person, if they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he had a bunch of people backing him up on everything he did. Anytime something bad would happen between me and him, it would get blamed on me. His family would blame it on me. His mom, none of them even worry about Liam. They don't contact me to see Liam, anything like that. Because they blame what he did on me. It's all my fault.
Well, it's not.
No, I know it's not my fault, but in their eyes, it's my fault.
Right.
Because he turned everyone against me. And had he not get caught doing what he did, trying to meet a 15-year-old for sex, people would still be blaming it on me that he talked to, because he had them turned against me for a very long time.
Right.
I'm glad we got him.
Me too.
Gave you opened your eyes a little bit more for him, made it more clearer.
After I got to know Amber and talk to her for a while, because it was a couple months until he got arrested. But after
he got arrested right away. He was one of the ones that got arrested fast. It wasn't that long after we caught him that he got arrested.
He got him in August and he got arrested in October, I think.
He got arrested in October?
Yeah, I think it was like 2 months, 3 months. And,
no, that was fast back then. That was fast back then.
Us. Yeah, I mean back then, yeah.
Yeah, it was fast. So like now they've been locking him up like a couple of days later, depending on who it is or how the conversation went.
Yeah. He was living the life before he got caught. He had a new girlfriend, a nice ass house in Clark Summit. He was living the life. Those 2 bikes. I have a $5,000 loan I have to pay on for one of those bikes. I have to pay it because it was on our joint bank account. And it's not fair. I don't have that bike. I don't have anything for the money I have to pay right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get that bike back.
Oh, he already got rid of those, and he didn't pay off the loan.
Oh no, you can sue him on small claims for that though.
Yeah, I can. I can sue him for the money. But still, like, I'm raising 3 kids right now, and I shouldn't have to pay that bill, or my credit goes down the tubes. And I have really good credit that I worked hard for.
Is he supporting right now?
What was that?
Is he supporting right now?
He's still in jail now, and
he's still locked up.
Yeah, child and
I thought that was one of the ones they gave a ROR to or something, or a low bail.
The entire time now.
And you know what? I'm glad he's in there. Hopefully he's thinking about all the bad things he did.
It would be nice if he is, you know.
Because he got away with so much. Like, that wasn't the first time that he got in trouble for hurting me. And I forgave him because I'm dumb.
I mean, we all do it, you know. Sadly, but we do, you know.
I kept telling myself he didn't mean it. I was like, oh, he didn't mean to do that. He just has a problem.
Yeah.
But no, he meant it.
Yeah. Yeah, every time. I mean, like as a DV survivor, it's our thought process, like, you know, and they pull the, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I was angry, whatever. And we're like, okay, you know, and it just repeats because we continue to forgive because we have high hopes, you know, basically. We genuinely, truly believe that they can change, they could do better. And 90% of the time they don't, you know. It's more of a manipulation tactic towards us to see how much they can get away with, you know, before they actually get in real trouble, you know.
Yeah, I forgave him too many times. He just thought I would always forgive him.
Yeah.
And like now, I can say I have forgiven him, but am I gonna take him back? Never. Never.
Right.
Are we gonna get divorced? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let someone make me feel so worthless again. It took so long to even get myself to where I am right now mentally, because I felt like garbage.
Yeah.
You really did make a huge turnaround from when we first started talking till now.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I'm so proud of you for that.
I had things. I had some really bad days.
Yeah.
But I had a very big support system this time, because the first time he went to jail for hurting me, I didn't tell a lot of people what happened, because I didn't want them to like judge him for that, or to come back like and be like, oh, well, why are you still with him if he did that? So like I only told really close people what happened.
Right.
But this time, when he pulled that gun on me this time, I posted it right on my Facebook for everyone to see. And I didn't care if his family didn't believe me or not, because his aunt posted right on my Facebook wall. She said, shame on you, this is a lie. It is not a lie. I would never lie. I loved him so much. Why would I want him to go to jail?
Right.
But
well,
that's
good for you.
How people act. But I didn't want anyone to let me go back to him this time. Because if I tried to go back to him, they would kill me themselves. All my family and my friends.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that he was abusive to you like that. You know, it's like, I mean, that's why, like we were saying, it's going to be good to do this stream, because we get to remind people, you know, you shouldn't be, you know, attacking anybody or judging people regardless, but especially when it comes to these traumas, I feel like people just, you know, especially the trolls in the comments, you know, they're quick to say, you know, oh, well, let's go there, let's mess them up, let's call the wife's job, let's, you know, you don't want to attack the Preds families, because at the end of the day, you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. You don't know what they're dealing with, how they, you know, emotionally, physically, you know, so it's like them getting caught in itself it does have a ripple effect, and it affects everybody in their circle.
It does.
That gave me an idea right there.
What?
Slaps for the ripple effect. Ripple effect, flat slaps. The slaps for the years of how many years apart you from, and the ripple effect of your family, that they got to feel it. So you're going to feel it for the ripple effect.
I like that.
That's a good one.
It's like the butterfly effect. You're going to get the ripple effect.
Yeah.
You're going to get slapped.
That's something a lot of people.
I wish I could do the slapping, man. For real, I really do be wishing I can do the slap. If I could do the slapping, man, I know it's not gonna work or nothing, but it'd make a lot of people feel better.
Right.
Yeah, that I was saying with the ripple effect is something that a lot of people don't think about. I was telling Joel,
I tell people about that. I ask the predators that, I'm like, yo, you don't think about when your kids gonna have to hear this, like, yo, getting picked on or something in school, like, I seen your dad or something, like, oh, your dad's a pedophile or your dad's a predator or something like that. No kid, no family wants to hear that. Like they didn't do the stuff that warranted the backlash from it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad I'm so. He won't remember any of this. Yeah. He's not gonna know what happened.
Right.
APP has a really good point. She said some people are too afraid to leave because they feel stuck and scared of the ramifications. And there is a lot of ramifications for leaving them, because I have financial ramifications. I had mental ramifications. I lost his whole side of the family that I considered my own. They all turned their back on me like I was nothing.
Right.
You lose things, but like, you have to think, this is your life. Do you want the rest of your life to be ruined, or do you want to be happy again and do what you want? Do you want your kids to be happy? Because if your kids see you crying, it hurts them. Your kids don't want to see you crying. They don't want to see someone hurting you, yelling at you. The first time that Ryan went to jail for hurting me, he went because my daughter saw him strangle me, and she called 911. So she saw it, but Your brain's so
That's
messed up after
crazy.
something like that happens.
Yeah.
Like, it happens so fast. So, like, it doesn't seem like a huge deal because your brain's messed up. And then you forgive. But, like, it is a really big deal. You could have died. You could have died from something like that.
Yep.
Another time, before this last incident, even before he strangled me, he had a pistol to my head, touching my forehead in front of my front door. I don't know why I was so messed up in the head at that point. I didn't even call the cops. He said
thing is, he would never do that to a real guy or something like that.
He did. He did. One of his friends, after all
Man,
this,
they wasn't they wasn't that they was. He knew that he could get away with it. You see, when I ran the fuck down on him, he did exactly what the fuck I told him to do and shit like that. Cause he know that you're not gonna do that to me, like the bully shit like that. You're the fucking prey right. You're the prey right now. You're not the predator right now. Like when I catch you, you're the fucking prey.
It was the first time.
It's no ifs, ands, about it. Like they gonna turn around and do. Man, I hear the stories about like, oh man, this person did that. I'm like, man, they fucking straight pussy or something like that. Like they know who to do this to, just like predators know who. Like these kids, though, the attack, they know which ones that's gonna tell. They know which ones are gonna fight back and stuff like that, man. Just like these guys when they beat on these women and stuff like that, you know who's gonna tell, their family members. They as a scare factor of like, yo, like man, if you hit this girl right here, they got a bunch of family that's gonna come and no questions asked and gonna bust ass. They know, like people knows things like that, so they know not to hit that person because fucking they got a strong support system behind them that's gonna come whoop some ass. But then you got some of the ones that they ain't really got that backing of a big brother or an uncle or father or something like that that's gonna come for the rescue to whoop some ass. That be happening with a lot of these females that be getting hit because they don't have that support system that backing that they can go tell somebody that they know that they gonna come whoop some ass.
That's true. That they prey on the weak, someone who they think is weaker than them.
Yeah.
But he does have violence. One of his friends told me before he even met me that he had a gun in his mouth before.
His friend allowed that, like he knew he could get away with that with his friend.
Yeah, and he did, because then like his friend didn't take it that seriously when it happened, but then after this happened,
no, you put a gun in my mouth, that's something serious. There's nothing you can't take serious about that. You put that in my face, my mouth, anything like that, from my vicinity, and it wasn't a joking matter or anything like that. No, man, you just threatened my life, man. I might have to hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no going back from that.
Right.
There's no going back. It's no more friendship.
And some of
like that.
Them, like you know, it's sad. But some of them are absolutely doing it to manipulate the situation around them. And it's for them, it makes it easier to portray it's a serious situation, and you know, which is why he probably did it to his friends. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like his way of getting what he wants from his friends. You know, oh, if you're not gonna come hang out with me tonight, I'm gonna.
Here's my little guy coming.
man.
I read a comment popped up before about trauma bonding, and like that is what happens.
Yeah, get in the car.
Yeah,
and you get trauma bonding.
It is very much. Yeah, it's 100%
and you think it's,
trauma bonding.
It's love, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And sadly, it's not.
Predators aren't
it's unfair that even put you in a situation to have to defend yourself or stand up for yourself. You know,
every time I stood up for myself, that's when he got the for myself when I spoke out to speak.
Right.
At the end, like that last conversation we had before he did that, I knew he didn't love me. I knew he didn't, and I was like, if you don't, then why are you still here? Like, you can go and live the life you want. We would have had a no-fault divorce had he had just left instead of pulling that gun. But he didn't. He wanted to have me with all the financial
Musa, I'm going to mute you while she's talking.
And then he wanted to have whoever else he wanted on the side. And I wasn't going to stand for that. We rode bikes together and stuff like that. And he would push me way beyond my skill level. I swear he wanted me to crash sometimes. Like he just hated me, I feel like.
Yeah.
One of the
And
last
it's easy to feel
this
like
was
that.
the last ride we went on together. He took off on me, didn't care what happened to me. I get home, I'm mad at him. I wouldn't even talk to him about it. He kept pushing me to talk about it. Then he's right in my face and I talk about it. And I say, yeah, I'm upset you took off on me again. Didn't even care what happened to me.
Right.
And then I start talking about it. And then he's like, shut up and get away from me. I'm going to rip your fucking head off your fucking neck.
Oh,
That's what he said to me because I was upset that he took off on me. Like when you ride with someone you love, like you're supposed to stay with them. You don't take off, number one. But then like the fact that he got that angry at me because I spoke up about it.
Yep.
Like I'm just glad I
He was
never
hoping to keep you around.
Yeah, for what though? Like just the financial stability, I think. Like just to use me. Like yeah, he had a job too, but like 2 incomes are better than 1. And he wasn't always the one making more money. I used to make more money than him. Then he started making more money, back to nothing for me.
Yep. I'm just glad that, you know, you finally were able to get out. I mean,
not the way I wanted to, but
no, but you know, in my opinion, you still stood up for yourself and, you know, you're still standing up for yourself, which is major. I mean,
yeah.
It's so
really
hard to be
a very long way from when I first met you.
Yeah.
So
well, you know, I don't like liars and I don't like manipulators. Yep. I'm a very honest, loving, caring person, and I can't stand it when people do that to someone that's a good person. I can't take it.
Yeah.
He acted like he was such a good guy in front of everyone else. When I first met him and I first started dating him, multiple of his
Dirtball.
To make sure I
Dirtball, you left my goddamn door open too.
Because they all thought he was a good guy, apparently. Like, all right,
hey
well,
guys, I gotta end this because my phone is getting overheated right now.
All right, Musa. Thank you for coming up, honey.
There's no problem, man. My pleasure. We'll see y'all later.
It's just funny. They were making sure I wasn't the bad guy.
Right. Yeah, to kind of protect their ass. Oh, I didn't even see Robyn was sitting in the back.
One of them.
I mean, and the thing is too, is like they need someone to blame. Do you know what I mean? And in their opinion, you know, you were an easy
You're the
target,
scapegoat.
you know.
Yeah.
Which is sad, you know. And like just knowing how like Rockstar talks you up and how amazing you have done, you know, and how far you've come, it's like says plenty, you know. Because he doesn't say that about everybody. So it's like, I know he's seen a transformation. And that's huge. It's huge for you and huge for your kids. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot. I did struggle though. A lot of people didn't see the struggling. The days I would be just like crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
You know, you can't stay strong all the time. You're going to break down sometimes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing.
No,
I mean, it's you being
gotta
human.
let that out.
Yeah. It's part of being human, you know.
And time time has a way of I was also strangled, and I'm so listening to you, I'm like remembering how I was abused by him. And I remember when everything went down and I threw him out and everything, all the shit I had put up with. Every card, I used to save cards, you know, I was one of those, like a card hoarder.
Yeah.
Every single card, I had a drawer full of them for Christmas or for whatever, my birthday, for nothing. They were all I'm sorry cards, every single one of them. Wow. There was one in particular, and I remember it when he was choking me out in our first apartment. And it had a frog on it, and it said, "I'm so sorry, I am the scum of the whatever," you know. And then that love bombing would start again, you know, like I would call it the once a year choke. But what about all the other things in between? And my daughter was so young that when we went, I had to take her to a therapy session. I mean, she was probably about 4 or 5. And I was in there with her, and the woman was asking me questions and stuff. And I was trying not to let, my daughter was drawing on the floor. And all of a sudden she looked up. She was really articulate and stuff. Like she could talk like a grown up. It was just because I spent a lot of time with her. I was at home mom. Yeah. She looked up and she said something, and she said, "Oh, I don't like the way my daddy always is yelling at you and stuff, and then doing that thing where you can't breathe." And I was like, what? That hurt me so bad, because I thought like she would be
paying attention
in bed, like she was sleeping. The last time that I was like went unconscious, and I kept trying to say her name. Yeah, to him, to try to snap him out of that blind rage, whatever. And it was over him cheating on me. I found out about it at my job.
They hate it.
Yeah.
You catch him in a lie.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's choking me out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't, do this shit anymore. And it wasn't very long after that my daughter disclosed to me what had happened. So I was already, that would have been it anyway. But after that last choke out, I was like, I didn't know she ever even heard anything.
Yeah.
Because you try to hide it from them. But I look back, and you don't want your kids growing up in that atmosphere.
I know.
No.
This is a total blessing in disguise, but it's too recent for you to. I'm 30 something years out of that.
Right.
So why you stay? I was finishing beauty school, I got pregnant. He got me pregnant, not in a fun way. We'll just say, I think he knew I had enough. Like, I was like, I'm not used to this shit, getting beat like this. So you stay for and people would ask, the therapist or something, and why would you stay? And that therapist I saw a few years back said, it's trauma bonding. That was the first time I ever heard it. Yeah. It's like you feel sorry for them. They're so broken. You're not thinking of yourself.
I felt too much sympathy for him at times.
Right. I get that. And it makes no sense me even saying it now, but I did. Because then he would start with the I'm sorry's and the love bombing. It's a total pattern. You want to believe it so badly, but they are like, the fake them is the nice them. The asshole part is the real them.
Yep, and that's what I was thinking about.
Right?
Like, everything I thought that our family was, and who he was, like, it was all fake.
That part is fake.
With him. The real part was the parts where I was crying, and I felt like everything was destroyed. And
that's
when
it.
Liam's telling me, you reminded me of my son telling me this, Mommy, don't talk to Daddy. Because when I would talk to him, he would get mad at me. Yeah.
Well, you were only there for whatever specific need he had you there for. You were making the money, right? But it's easier for me to look back at it. When it all first happened, I had just got my beauty school license. My daughter was little. They isolate you and they make everybody hate you in their family. Like you're some kind of idiot. So you have no support. When I walked in,
family, he acts like he cares about them now because they're helping him. He didn't even want them around.
No, they just want their help, their money, and they raised that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
He hated when we would spend holidays with family and things like that. Just because they're helping him now, he's acting like everything's fine with them.
Oh yeah, he's manipulating them. He's that's who he is.
Yeah.
And to face that's the real person. You fell in love with someone that doesn't exist.
I know. And you know what? That helps with the healing process when you realize that.
Yes.
You're
When
like,
you
it
think
wasn't
those
real.
words, I hope that helps, because that stuck with me in therapy. This guy was real good with me because he worked with a lot of domestic abuse and survivors of, trauma, PTSD, the whole gamut. I mean, this process is is pretty recent for you. So seeing any light, there's so much negativity surrounding your brain trying to process that this person wasn't who you thought they were. They're totally different. You don't know this guy. You don't know him.
Right.
You do know him, but it's hard to face that he's a fucking monster. Pardon me.
One of the things I keep in mind, that last time that I saw him, when they get in that rage, and I know what rage you're talking about, they do not look like who you know.
No.
They look like a different person. Their face
They don't see you.
changes.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a whole new person you're staring
The
at.
mask comes off, and it is a scary sight.
It's scary.
Isn't it the most frightening thing ever? Oh my God.
It's not who you knew, and you're not sure what they're going to do next.
Right.
No, that could end your life.
When
they
people
have that look in their eyes too, that
like done.
Yeah.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's like no soul. You can't get through. I'm trying to choke out the word Brienne, and I can't even get it out. I'm getting no air. And this time I'm like, oh my God. I mean, he choked me when I was pregnant. Choked me out. I had my daughter the next day. She was only just 4 pounds. I had her so early. She was a preemie. And luckily that turned out all right. She had pneumonia from breathing in fluid coming out so fast. And I had diabetes when I was pregnant. So luckily she had some weight on her that she normally wouldn't have had. But he didn't care. How are you like choking out your pregnant
They don't have
person you're supposed to love? Like what?
People that do those things have no empathy. And that's one of the things I talked to his mom about too, because he didn't want me talking to his mom anymore. And I asked him about how his empathy has been throughout his life, because I was like, it seems like he has no empathy. He didn't care whenever any of us were sad or hurting or sick.
They can't relate. I don't think they have feelings at all, those types of people. At all. Only for their own self.
After Musa got him, apparently, his mom said he had lots of feelings, and he was so broken. And
of course he was.
Because he got a taste of his own medicine. He got caught doing something so horrible.
But he didn't care about what he did to me or our family.
Of course not.
Because in his mind, he was not caught red-handed. He didn't get caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was us telling what happened after the fact.
You're right, Jules.
Guilty because he pled guilty to our case.
I walked in to my ex-mother-in-law's yogurt shop with a black eye, crying because I didn't know what to do. Drove 2 hours to get there because I couldn't take it no more. And as soon as I walked in, I'll never forget, she was making the tuna salad sandwich for someone. That's how much I remember. And she looked at me and she said, go outside until you dry your tears. I don't want anyone seeing you in here. Put some sunglasses on.
There's no empathy.
Right? You can relate to that one, I bet.
They're called narcissists.
Totally. Oh, I was shocked because I was like, here I am. I don't know where to go. If I go to my father, he may just kill him and go to jail. But it turned out when I did go to my father, I got, well, what did you say? So I didn't have a big support system. I didn't know where to go, but you find it within you to do whatever. You'll find the strength. And sometimes some days it could be minute by minute. Other days it'll get longer. Like, a few days you'll have a good week. You'll have the next thing you know, you're like, looking back going, oh, thank God that happened and I got out of it. Or thank God I found out that, because it probably saved your life.
Yeah. If I had stayed in that room instead of running, I could be dead right now. I could be. The gun was loaded. The gun was loaded.
Absolutely.
And there was the big one with big bullets.
Right.
I mean, really, When
You
you're
know, it's
having
scary,
those hard times, you think of that shit.
Like, why would
Yeah.
he even grab that? Like, I just don't
I
even
know.
like, yeah, you're mad at
And
me.
you have kids.
He genuinely was only concerned for himself, clearly, as always, you know.
No self-control at all. They have
You know
no
what?
self-control at all.
Some of it could be
That's
a
what's
genetic
scary.
too. He wants to look tougher than he is, so he's got to grab a gun instead of.
He didn't have to look any tougher to me though. Like, I was already like
Weak, weak and pathetic. But I think they get some enjoyment out of the fear
I think they
in
do
your
too.
eyes.
I think it's some
Do you know what I'm saying?
sadistic, twisted
Yeah.
process.
Absolutely.
That they genuinely love to see us like that. Like, I
Yep.
will never forget how
Total
genuinely
control.
weak,
Yep.
and you know, I looked
And-
so weak. I mean, I was literally laying in the corner of a floor by the fridge, you know, and getting
know
he
how
was
that
still
feels.
kicking my face in,
Yeah.
you know, he kicked all my teeth
Oh, yeah.
out, but he knocked me
Oh,
out,
my gosh,
and he was still
Jules.
kicking me. So it's like,
Holy.
you know what I mean? You know, I'm at the point I'm knocked out. Why? You know what I mean? Why would you?
And they're still going.
they're stuck in a rage. There's something wrong in their heads.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't know. I don't know why they do it. And anger management does not help.
Nope.
No.
They
That's
go
beyond. That's
Yeah,
a
they
murder
go
waiting to
it
happen
if
right
they're
there.
pulled and put on the spot, you know, whether it's in court or family. It's like, go to anger management, it'll help. They
That's
go just
ridiculous.
literally please, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
surroundings.
He wanted to please the courts.
Yeah,
And then it
they're
meant
not taking
Yep.
anything in from it. They're not, you know, learning from it or trying anything.
They don't
that
change.
get out there, you know, it's
Do
kinda-
not
and-
change
and-
people like that.
Right.
They don't have the capacity.
Yep.
That my therapist had told me. He said, you know, you're trying so hard, like it's a pattern in my life, you know, like trying to make my father love me, you know, or whatever. You can't make somebody,
Right.
you can't change anybody.
no.
They are who they are, and you deserve so much better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You've been through the worst of it. It
Yeah.
can't get any worse than what you've just been through.
Right.
So
the only
the
worst thing is
residual,
death, being dead. And then your kids don't have a mom.
exactly. That's the flip side. You have your kids at least to focus on, and you know, believe me, financially and stuff, I had nothing. I had an attorney that offered calling people. I'm calling everyone. Do you own a house? Do you own that? I said, I have nothing. He would never even give me any money.
Right.
Oh, it was ridiculous. But he's buying jewelry. I'm finding receipts
No, they don't.
for jewelry for women, you know? And I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. I just can't, you know, I'm going to end up dead.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you go, I don't know how in the hell I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you take your life back and you live it the way that you want to live it.
Yep.
And it feels
you
real
become
good.
you now
It does.
again.
It's
You're
very
not
good.
you yet. He changed you. So
It
Right.
feels good doing what you want though for once, and not always having to worry about, oh, is he going to get mad about this or mad about
yep.
that? Because
Oh yeah.
To get dinner done by this time, or I'm gonna get my ass whooped, or I don't have to have, you know, his plate set out before I get my
Yep.
ass.
Well,
The eggshells are gone. The
Yeah.
eggshells are gone for you now. You just have, once you realize it, I mean, it's a process. I wish I had I could snap my fingers and then it goes away. It doesn't. It takes time, and you know, time it does. It
I
takes
felt like I was
time.
fine, like,
You know,
and
because
I've been good. It's just
Right.
like right now as I'm talking about it, like my body is like reacting and like I'm like shaking
Yeah.
just from like talking about it. Like
Yes,
it causes like
it's the trauma.
yeah.
Yeah.
I recently, this happened 30 years ago to me. I just recently started talking about this,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago to Shonda,
Yeah.
and then I told Jules. So I've been having a rough time. So I felt relief at first, but you know, he's going to court now. I'm getting phone call, you know, it's a lot more to it than just the domestic violence part for me. So I've been having a rough time,
Right.
but I know that the light is at the end of the tunnel. It's just that when I have the complex PTSD, I mean, that shit, it's like an ebb and flow, you know, if things are going good, you know, it's like coping, how you can cope. Some days I can't cope.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, because I've held it in for so long, you know, it's like my mask has to come off for a breather sometimes now, you know, to talk about it and have somebody understand it instead of judging me or thinking I'm lying or, you know.
Yeah, they always
made his whole family
for something that's not even our fault. I mean,
they look down on you. Yeah,
it's hard for people to understand if they've never been through it. They don't get.
Absolutely.
They're like, oh, why did you just leave them? Like, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, that's
it
is very hard.
Yeah, especially when
it is hard. You're
sorry, you know.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
Because you want to forget. It feels good to forgive someone.
Right.
Rather than keep crying.
It does.
Yeah.
You want to feel better about it. So when they throw you those chips.
Yep. And it feels like it's
feeling better.
Might help you better by forgiving. Do you know what I mean? It almost feels like I can get over this a lot quicker, you know, if I can forgive them for this. You know what I mean? But
yes, like it makes it go away.
It takes a lot to forgive those that harmed us. You know what I mean? A lot.
Yeah.
And to get to that place mentally is huge. I mean, that's why I was saying to you, Amber, like, you are so much fucking stronger than you think you are. And I can
hear it
just chatting with you, you know, that you have come a long way, and the way that you talk and explain it, and, you know, and giving examples, but then also reasoning and saying, okay, you know, but this is where I am now, you know. It shows a lot of your character, you know, and a lot of what you're capable of as a woman and a human.
I did a lot of work on myself. A lot of I read a lot of
it takes work.
A lot of YouTube.
I did too.
YouTube does help. Honestly, there are a lot of channels that you can, you know, looking at, you know, videos about, you know, domestic violence and, you know,
absolutely
things, and, you know, how to maintain
narcissistic abuse. They're good.
Narky was my favorite YouTuber for the longest time getting through this.
Yeah.
Just explaining that personality and why they're like, why did you like that, and how it's not your fault. There's something wrong with them, and they're not fixable, you know?
Right.
They're not fixable. They're missing something. They can't give what they don't have to give.
Right. They won't. I mean, it sucks to say, you know, because it's like, in one mindset, it's like, you know, these are our kids' fathers. These are our ex-husbands. These are, you know, like, are we really ready to, like, set that part of our life to the side to continue to heal? But it's like, we also have to remember, you know, this is something that the kids will have to view if we don't.
Well, we don't want their life destroyed because this happened. Because it doesn't matter. Like, I had a really rocky childhood too. My parents got divorced. There was a lot of fighting. It's a pattern. And now, like, I have to worry about if my kids are going to end up in relationships like that. I don't want them to.
Yeah.
How old are your children?
My daughter's going to be 12. My middle son just turned 8, and Liam's 4.
Oh, 4. Aw.
Yeah.
They're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're young enough. They're going to be okay. And the way that you're speaking about this, I can just tell.
Yeah.
You're a good mom, and you're going to focus on them. And it's going to be very hard to trust anyone. I'm telling you, if I didn't, I would be single after that.
It's a
that marriage.
Not trusting, because you just never know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've known my husband now. We're together 30-something years. I knew him before I even met, since I'm 19. I just turned 59. So we've been like best friends. We married other people. He was a little older than me, like 6 years older. And when you're 19, that was a big deal. So I didn't date him, and I should have. But when we, you know, I've known him like my whole life almost. So for 40 years, whatever. So him I can trust with. Was a great father for my daughter, is grandfather, everything. Everything is about me.
Right.
And I'm still not used to that, even because of how I was treated by my own family, you know. And so it's hard. If it wasn't for him, I mean, I still, you know, go through these things where, like, I really haven't. I have a date with 2 girlfriends that I have here through the motorcycle club my husband's in, that I haven't seen in a year and a half. Well, Kristen just showed up the other day with flowers for me, just for 2 minutes to show me her new puppy. And she was like, girl, I mean, they text me all the time and everything, and sometimes I'll text back, but I've been having a really, really hard time, and I withdraw, you know, because it's too much coming back.
Right.
And hearing anything about this idiot's life and having to deal with it and everything. So I've been hiding.
Yeah.
And they know why, because my husband's good friends with their husbands, you know, and everything.
Right.
So I'm going over and we're having girl night, and they're going to paint my nails because I haven't had my nails done in 2 years now. You know, like, get back to me. You know what I mean? And that's a big step for me, because that's just a big step for me, because since this piece of shit has entered my brain again almost 2 years ago, where I had to go through everything again, and I kept a journal, you know, and I had to sign all kinds of court documents so they could open up all the files, and I'm reliving this shit I'm worked so hard to forget.
Right.
It almost felt like this just happened again.
You
know, so I had been doing really well for a really long time. You know, I don't even think about that person, you know, that person could be dead on this. I mean, I had no feeling, not hate, not nothing, because I don't know. That was never anybody to me. I don't know who that is. I was in a good place being, that was my way of dealing with it. But to have it come back now this much later, maybe that wasn't such a good way to deal with it. Maybe I should have talked about it more earlier, you know, so I could purge myself of this shit, you know, and not have to, you know, go back to it. And you know, I just hope he goes to jail for a very long time. That's all I hope.
Karma comes around no matter what.
He got away with so much shit his whole life. His family would get him out of everything, and he shit all over them too. He didn't care.
What goes around comes around. There has to be a balance to energy. Energy will not stay unbalanced.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I saw it come back very quick in my case for him.
What was that, hon?
Karma came back for him very quickly.
Yes.
Not too long after he did that to me, that's when Brock and Musa got him. And then guess what? He couldn't keep up that facade anymore after that.
No, he got cracked. That mask got cracked and came the F off.
He turned so much against me. He drug my name through the mud. And people
to take this, it's a smoke screen.
I was getting messages before that of people that actually believed him, saying like, no, he didn't do anything wrong. So I put the chat logs out.
Get out. Which catch was this? I was cut off for a while.
It was my number 6 catch. I decoyed it. I was actually at work, and Ryan was pushing really hard. So instead of waiting in the catch, I just asked Musa to go grab him, and it turned out to be an excellent catch, actually.
I definitely seen it. I know I've seen all you guys.
He blamed it on me. He blamed the reason why he did that on me.
Yeah, he did.
How's that?
He had a whole fucking girlfriend that was beautiful as hell that he was cheating on to go meet that decoy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
same with mine.
He sent me
had
some
a girlfriend.
Girl,
yeah, and what that is a person with no soul.
He doesn't have one. Like that's what I was trying to get people to understand. Like,
Yeah,
they thought he was.
no, and that was hard for me too. Like when that probation lady that he had the supervised visits with my daughter when she was young, she's saying how great he is with her. He pretty much ignored her. That's why I was so shocked. Only when people would come around.
Right.
You know, because that's why I was so shocked what he did to her. You know, because I'm like, I thought the worst thing was like he was just didn't give a shit about her. You know, so I wished something would have happened sooner to save the other kids, but because nothing happened to him. Another thing, you know, I'm like, the worst thing a person can do, he got away with that. Got away with burning down the bowling alley. Which my husband now lived in that neighborhood. He goes, that's the one that burned the bowling alley. People could have died, you know. And I'm like, yeah, he said he hid behind a dumpster and burned down some bowling alley. Jesus. He was like, oh my God, I didn't know this person. And that's still no excuse, because there were big red flags from day one.
Yeah.
You know, we do see the red flags, but we want to think the best of them. We want to think that they're good people. We don't want to be like, oh, I made a really big mistake. Maybe they are a really bad person. But then it's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard
good
to see past
foolers.
those. Yeah.
Very good manipulators, and they do pick and
like
choose.
Now when you tell people your stories and stuff, and people are like, you know, oh, you didn't see that as a red flag. It's like, no.
I mean, I see a red flag. I just like forgave and just like, I was like, people make mistakes, and I was like, how is a marriage? How do other marriages last? Oh, well, maybe their husbands aren't making those types of mistakes.
Right. And you felt so alone too, didn't you, Amber? I mean, didn't you just feel so alone?
You know,
like
I had a couple friends that knew what was going on for a while. They had my back. I could talk to them about it. They knew I should have left him. They tried to talk me into leaving them. Right. And that day it happened, my one friend Amanda was on call in case things went down because she knew I was going to talk to him. Yeah. So I didn't want to have to call the cops on him if I didn't have to, because I didn't want him to get arrested. I knew he was going to get mad. I didn't know it was going to escalate to that point.
I understand too. Yeah.
So it started getting out of hand. He was trying to take my phone from me because that's what he does. Whenever I start freaking out, he either turns off my phone through Verizon at the time, how you can turn off the line, or he would take it. So he was trying to take it. And you know what? The whole reason he pulled that gun on me was because he couldn't get my phone off of me. He even left and then came back to get my phone again, and that's when that happened.
Because he wanted to isolate you.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to call the cops. If he just stayed gone the first time, I was just going to stay here. And I was just going to be okay. I just wanted to make sure he didn't turn my phone off on me, because like that's my communication.
Yeah.
But then he had to come back. He just had to. And I was time, and that's why he ended up upstairs.
That was a win for you. They can't take that. They're weak and pathetic is what they are. Weak and pathetic is how they are.
He couldn't control himself. He didn't want to control himself. He wanted to take out all his anger on me.
Too weak and pathetic. Has no self-esteem, really cowardly. Anybody that acts like that, the real them is like, besides being sick, you know, sick sons of bitches, they're pathetic. They're like when he got caught, that like a bitch.
He did. He was like, I know it's wrong, but it's all my wife's fault. He sprung divorce on me. I didn't want to get divorced. I just wanted him, if he didn't love me, I wanted him to suck it up and leave. Because it didn't seem like he loved me. He wasn't acting like he loved me. He was treating me like trash. I just don't understand why people don't just leave if they don't love someone. It's so stupid. Like, he could have just gone and started a new relationship and whatever.
My bad. My son's home sick with strep and maybe COVID. So he's a little it's like every 2 seconds, Mom. But yeah, I definitely think you have like done some amazing work, Amber. And
Thanks.
you know,
Ryan, like when you have a choice, you just got to do it. You have kids, you can't just let yourself roll into a ball and die.
Yeah, you got to keep fighting and keep moving forward, you know. And I mean, I feel like ultimately, you know, most people don't see the struggles that we go through to get to the other side of things, you know, to heal and to just be able to function, you know, like a normal person. Because that, in my opinion, is one of the hardest things, to just be able to function. And it's so much work, you know. You go through so many days where you are completely depressed and don't want to get out of bed. You know, it's like, yeah, and it's a struggle, you know, but I would go through those 3 to 4 days and completely enjoy that one day, the one day of the week where I would be me, you know, I would be able to laugh at something silly the kids did, you know, and genuinely think it was funny, you know.
It feels good when that starts coming back though, because like that's what I feel like is happening to me now. Like I feel like myself again. I'm doing fun things that I want to do.
Yeah. And it's huge. It's huge for, you know, for your healing, because it's like, it gives you more hope, you know, that you are going to fully come out on the other side, you know.
I feel like a kid again. Like, you know, when you're little and like everything just like feels awesome. Getting out of the house, like.
Yep.
It's just starting to feel like that again.
Yep. And it really does. It really does. Like
I've had you on Facebook now for about 6 months, and you can tell your posts from then till now, you're like almost a completely different person.
Yeah. I mean, I did post a couple of things that maybe I shouldn't have the past couple of days, but he was messing with my money, and I work hard for that money.
Yeah.
You have every right to be upset.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't ever be afraid to, you know, I mean, the way I see it is those posts are a reflection of you, of your thoughts, your feelings, you know. Nobody should ever, you know, even you, make yourself feel like, you know, you shouldn't have posted it or whatever, you know. At that time, that's what you were thinking. That's what you were feeling, you know.
Well, I'm a very honest person. Like, if that's exactly what I meant, then that's exactly what I meant.
Exactly.
You know, that's why I put it there. If anyone wants to judge me for it, like, that's on them. They're not in my situation. They don't know how it feels.
Exactly. And definitely, you know, make sure you allow yourself to feel those and say those things, you know, no matter what you're going to hear surrounding it, because the way I see it is everything I do, whether it's good or if I'm in a sad mood or whatever, it's going to be judged by somebody somewhere along the lines, like, you know. So I'm like, love me or don't, you know. But that's my biggest thing. I tell people, you know, take me as I am or leave me as I was, you know. I'm going to be the same with or without you, you know.
It feels good just being yourself. Like, who cares what they think? Like, do what you want. It's your life. Like, this is the only life we have. Like, God, like, we don't know if we get reincarnated. We don't know if there actually is a heaven. We could believe in heaven. But, like, right now, like, being mindful is what matters. Being happy in the present moment is what matters. Hold on a second. I'm in my door quick.
Yeah, you're fine, honey. She's such a beautiful person.
She really is. That's why I wanted this like to happen so bad, so people can see the other side of this. Like, that's who's on the other side.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, you know, when we tell these people, you know, to don't attack their families and stuff, it's like, you got to be mindful. There's an Amber on the other side of that. You know what I mean?
Listen to her talking and the way everything. Why would you want to be mean to her?
Exactly. I said when you got up, I said, she's just such a beautiful person. You know, like,
I appreciate that compliment, because I work really hard to like make my mind better and like think in a healthy way. And like that mindfulness, that's a real thing that works. Like if you live in the present moment and just focus on like the second, the minute that you're in, it helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Rather than worrying about the future or focusing on the past.
Yep. And it's harder. It takes a lot more energy to live in the past than it does to move to the future. You know what I mean?
It's so tiring thinking about it. And it hurts. It really is.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
And I don't know if you can see the comments on YouTube, but everybody has like really been supportive of you this whole time.
Yeah. I'll take a look at them when it's over because I don't see them on my phone right now. Only the ones that pop up like in bold.
Definitely do. There's some absolutely
amazing.
I was
gonna say I'm gonna scroll through and try to pin some of them as I see them. I was just so focused on talking to you guys. Let's see. We got Amber here with hearts. Oop. I just learned how to, show these comments on my laptop. I'm so used to doing everything on my phone that like using a laptop, I'm still trying to learn to navigate the mouse because it's just on the laptop or whatever. So it's like if I move my finger slightly in one direction, like I have to like do it super slow. It feels like it's sensitive or something. All right, let's see.
It's just been my focus for a while to like just get better.
Yeah.
Like you have to just work on it all the time and it works. Like investing in yourself works.
It sounds to me like, you've been busting ass. So I think you deserve every smile you can get,
and this makes it worth it for me.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I still appreciate everything you and Musa do. Like, it's helping people, getting those people to at least stop doing what they're doing, or at least think twice about what they're doing.
Yep.
And I know some of them will go do it again, and they think that it's not you, and it'll probably be you again.
Right. Exactly.
As of right now, Musa and I are pretty much everywhere. So
yeah, which is good. I mean, like I said before, I feel like you two are such a dynamic duo, in my opinion. I feel like an unstoppable force, if you will.
Musa has been like a master of a mentor for me. I learned so much just by like even just hanging out with him. Like we just sit there and talk for hours about how we would do catches or what he would do, and I learned a lot. And then doing these streams have absolutely changed my life.
Good.
The way I want to I want to make a difference, and I want to help change.
Yeah, and you are making a difference. Like even just in our life, like me and the kids, like him getting caught, like doing that helped us a lot because it helped me mentally because I didn't feel so worthless anymore. I didn't feel like everyone hated me, thinking that I was a liar. And
and
apparently he was very believable.
Yeah, but it's the manipulation they have on those people as well. You know what I mean? So it's not even, and that's like the hardest thing to understand is, that it's not even so much that they truly believe him. They want to believe in him. They want to believe his words, and the way that he is speaking to them, they're like, oh, I'll take it. He said no. And that means, no, he didn't do it. He's probably been training to manipulate people his entire existence. You know what I mean?
Don't lie.
So, he knows what he's doing, and he knows who he's hurting, and it just doesn't faze him at all,
Yeah. At least he's in jail now and getting some kind of insight on like what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
So he realizes, hey, maybe I should stop doing that. I don't know if he'll ever stop doing that, but
right. And can hope that he would, but it seems like this is his character, just part of him, now. That if it's not you, it's gonna be the next person, you know.
No. He told me his last relationship, it was all his ex's fault, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know, because it kind of seems like you're the problem.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who his ex was, but he talked a lot of shit on her.
Yeah.
He talked a lot of shit on everybody.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, and that's what they do. Like, narcissists are, you know, we're their feeding supply. So every ex before us was part of their feeding supply, you know, and they, once they have gotten everything that they can get from us, basically suck the life out of us, they move on to the next supply.
Just
we are
throw us out.
Yeah.
Just discard us.
Exactly.
Use up the resources once they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
He literally spent like all of our savings and then also had that loan before this happened. So I don't even know if he was planning on leaving, and that's why he spent all that, because we were saving for a house with that money.
Right. Wow.
And it wasn't just his money. Like, he actually, like it was all him saving. Like, I saved too. I scrimped a lot. I hardly bought anything for myself.
I feel like as a mom, like in the shit we go through, we have a habit of doing that. Like, I still to this day don't buy shit for myself. I get, you know, somebody will give me like money for my birthday or something, you know, like my grandfather will give me like $50 and, you know, and say, hey, make sure you buy something for you with that. Oh, I will, I promise. And we'll get into the store, and where do I go? The toy aisle or the kids' clothes? And I'm like, well, they could really use, you know, or, oh, this would be fun to play together. So technically it's for me.
Yeah. And, you know, I like playing with the kids. We all just got rollerblades, and it's like the funnest thing ever right now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
Do like almost every day.
It's kind of like, you know, in a, you know, indirect way, it makes sense, you know, as a parent. You know, it's like it is for them, but it's also for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun playing with toys and having fun with the kids. Like,
right.
People don't like to do that. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, if it's entertaining them, but on top of that, you know, we get to do stuff together. I mean, it feels like, you know,
like they're so happy now that he's gone.
I bet. I mean, because they probably feel comfortable, like they're allowed to be kids. They're not afraid of
when he was here, we weren't. Like, everything had to be quiet. Like, there was days I would be sitting on the couch with him, and I felt like I couldn't even move. Like, I felt frozen to the couch.
Yep.
I was like, oh well, he'll get mad about something.
Yep. I used to lock me and the boys in the bedroom the second he'd come home from work. I mean, all day we would be outside playing, you know, whatever. And the second he would come home from work, we'd go right upstairs to the bedroom, and we would stay there all night. And we were living at his parents' house, and it was like, I don't know how his mom, like, she didn't want to say shit to him either because she didn't want to get yelled at. So it was like, we kind of just knew our places, you know, we'd sit in the room. It wasn't until, you know, that I started to really think about it when my daughter came over one time to visit, and he had come home from work, and she was there, and he was really pissy because I hadn't even started dinner. So he had such an attitude. I mean, he was whipping picture frames and shit in the living room. And my younger son was literally like 3 or 4. And Chase was probably like 4 or 5, I think. But he grabs Haley's arm and he goes, come upstairs, sissy. And he pulled her to the closet, and he said, this is where we hide when dad's mad. I said, wow. When a kid is telling their older sister that he needs to keep her safe, and we were hiding in the closet, that's, you know,
it brings you back to reality a little bit.
Yeah. And it's like, I still, you know, I stayed, obviously, because I was dumb, but, you know, I stayed and I tried to fight through it, you know, and probably like a couple weeks later, we went outside. He stayed home from work, and we went outside to build a snowman and stuff, and he was shoveling snow in a pile. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good day, whatever. And no, he actually took Chase in, because Chase sat on the pile of snow, that he was shoveling, and he took Chase in with both of his hands, full force on both of his shoulders, and pushed him. So Chase flew back. He slid on the snow. It was like icy snow. He slid back and he hit his eye. He got a bruise and a cut on his eye. And I said, that's it. You know, like, you put your hands on me, it sucks, you know, but it's one thing. But now you're putting your hands on my kids.
Yeah.
You know, those are my babies. Now I'm Mama Bear. These are like these are my cubs. So I called my daughter, and her boyfriend came and picked us up. And the entire time he was so pissed off because I told him he needed to bring his sorry ass in the house. Because I'm like, most of the time I would freeze up and I wouldn't react when he'd have an attitude.
I understand that freezing. Freezing, it's a specific thing that happens.
Right. Like, you might yell back a little, but you don't really react. You know what I mean? But the day he put his hands on Chase, I lost my shit. And I was like, I was raised in the streets, in the hood. Like, you know, you put your hands on my kids, so now we got a fucking problem, sir. Okay.
You do not want to mess with the Mama Bear.
Yeah. So I made him go in the house, and he sat on the living room couch, and I'm telling you what, like, we had to go past the living room upstairs to the bedroom to pack up our shit. Now, we all walked by, okay? So it was me, my daughter Haley, her boyfriend, and both the boys with bags of shit twice to put it in the car. This motherfucker didn't even notice we fucking left. He called me 5 hours later and asked me where we went.
Because he didn't care. Like, he didn't give a shit. It was like when he did call.
Yeah. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, we literally walked by you several fucking times, and you had no idea that we were leaving. And then I yelled to you at the door. I said, if that's how you want to act, you know, like, stay here, do you, I'm out, you know. And I took off, and he's like, I didn't know, I couldn't hear you from the living room.
Yeah, right.
Your kitchen is lit. Your kitchen door is literally right by the fucking couch you was sitting in, nigga. You cannot play with me. You didn't want to hear me is maybe what it was. But yeah, when I left that day, I haven't been back. You know, it's been 3 years since I left him. And I mean, the kids are they both have ADHD. And they both have child PTSD because of all the shit that he's done. He even set Noah's crib on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was psycho. And so, like, they've been through a lot, you know, and to see them just this past year, like, fully coming out of their shell, like, I mean, it's like WWE SmackDown on a regular fucking basis in my living room, you know, but I love it. And I wouldn't have it any other way, you know.
It's nice seeing them happy and not just like all scared, like, you know, like an abused dog, like how they're all scared of everything. That's how my kids were. Like, they wouldn't even want to talk or anything. And he wasn't abusing my kids. He tried to go after Liam once, and he's a lot taller than me, and I stood right up to him, and I blocked him from laying up. I'm like, you're not going to touch my son.
Yeah. And
that was the last time he tried to hurt him.
Yeah.
But just like the yelling in general had damaged them so much that like they felt scared talking. And now they're like happy. They're talking, they're saying whatever they want. They're more social, like it's like a huge difference.
It's major to see, you know, like the kids being able to come out of their shells and act like kids and have a normal life and feel like a kid. It takes so much for them to get through that and get to that point. I mean, all the therapy and stuff that they'd done twice a week for 2 years was, you know, a lot for them. But they stuck it out, you know. We finally actually closed their therapy sessions. They finally are, you know, at a good point, you know, where we can deal with it. But it's like, some of the stuff, like having them like in the therapy sessions, and they have the kids draw pictures of like things that they remember, you know, from their old house and stuff. And I mean, they literally would draw pictures of them trying to put Haley in the closet and stuff. Like, negative things is what they remember, you know. And then they would have them draw pictures of things they love about their new place. And this is, you know, I get to play with the I get to play with my brother and be happy. You know, it's just such a huge difference, you know. Sorry, hold on one second.
But Amber, I definitely want to say that I'm very proud of you for how far you've come.
Yeah, thanks. I don't think I would have got this far though if he didn't get some karma.
Yeah, that's true.
I probably would still be suffering a lot more.
His court case with us is still going on.
Yeah, so, I saw the 22nd.
Yep.
Yep. And if it doesn't get continued again.
Yeah, every time I've had to go, it's gotten continued so far.
Yeah. So well, they're gonna probably try and fight it and get him out of it somehow with that fancy lawyer.
We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I can't say much about it, unfortunately, but you know,
I was gonna ask how the case was going.
Yeah, I'm very confident. We'll just say that.
Good.
Good. Well, he admitted it right on camera that he did it. He didn't try to deny it, and then he didn't even take responsibility. He blamed it on me.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Chat logs don't lie.
And that picture of him with that girl.
Yeah.
Like, who was that girl? Because that wasn't his girlfriend, and that wasn't the other.
Still have never found out.
Just a friend that he fucked, that he F-worded on someone's couch right after he did that to me.
Wow.
Yeah, every picture and everything that he sent was always geared towards trying to make him look like he was like the biggest person, like the coolest, like you need to talk to me kind of thing. And as soon as somebody like that starts talking to me, I go left and I do the polar opposite. And I kind of just one word answers because then
it'll make them want more.
Yep.
That's exactly how it happened. He pushed and pushed until I figured I was at work and I don't worry about it. I just want to get these guys exposed. So the best way to do that, it was Musa. And that was definitely one of the best ones I've seen.
Yeah. So, definitely one for the books for sure.
Yeah,
I was shocked. I didn't even know about it until other people that I knew saw it. And they told me, I was like, what?
Right.
I was like, damn, like this is like crazy.
Yeah, it happened fast. I wasn't talking to him for that long. It was, I think it was only a couple of days. And
what he does, he's a pig.
The less that I talked, the more that he pushed until he was like, I'm coming right now. Give me an address. Okay. Throw him an address. And he showed up.
You know what he told his friend? He told his friend his excuse for doing it. He's like, it was like dangling a steak in front of a dog. That's what he told his friend.
Wow.
And his friend was like, oh, well, whatever. I'm still not your friend anymore. Bye.
That's crazy.
Because he wanted everyone to have sympathy for him for what he did.
Yep.
He's like, oh, wouldn't you have done it?
Right. No. It's like, no, we're not all sick motherfuckers. So
the other thing, I only sent him one decoy photo.
Yeah.
That was it. One picture. It was a face picture. That was it.
Yeah. He's not a loyal guy. He's never been a loyal guy. He tried to act like he was, but
yeah.
And my decoy picture looks 14, 15.
Mm-hmm. So. What makes me sick is my daughter is just about to be 12. Like she's just like going through like the changes and stuff like that. Like it makes me sick. Like what if he was still here? What if he was thinking of her like that?
Yeah.
His friend's daughter was the same age that we were just at the park with, like, I think it was like the week before or maybe 2 weeks before.
And that's the fear, like, unfortunately, that like has to go through your mind is like, God forbid if eventually he could have, you know, thought of our own daughter that way, or, you know, his friends' kids, you know, if they're willing to do it to someone else's kids. I mean,
well,
it's like
we don't even know if he's done it before because there was many times I suspected cheating and things like that, girls on his phone, everything. God knows how many times he's done it before. He told the girl that he'd get her in the back of his truck. Oh, when the car seats were out, was that what you were doing? I don't know.
Yep. Right.
He was a truck driver. Were you fucking him in the back of your truck?
Yeah. Yep.
What a piece of garbage.
And it's like, you know,
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to curse here. I know it's YouTube. I just
I'm sorry. My phone died, so
I curse on here too. So
yeah, it just comes out because I start thinking about that, and it just like the curse words are the anger that I'm trying.
So
I was gonna say it's just a natural emotion, you know.
exactly what it is.
They are literally sentence enhancers, and if YouTube don't like it, then YouTube can shove it.
Don't get me started. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm having a pretty good day.
Yeah.
For my
I wanna.
the other day, I got a strike after I deleted the video.
What? This is really bothering me beyond words that they can.
I mean, it's like we literally have these amazing catchers out here trying to genuinely protect our children, and it's like roadblocks left and right. You know, like I mean,
you know, there's so many of these people that it's amazing. I can't even. You know, what did somebody say to me once when they want kids? It's like they can't change. It's impossible. What if you're a boob guy? You know, that it's that thing. If you're attracted to women or men, you know, you can't change your sexual orientation. So calling it a sickness is like a nice way of putting it. It's a deviance because they're hurting people. They're hurting children that are vulnerable and can't protect themselves.
And even a teenager who wants it doesn't understand the repercussions of it fully, what they're doing. Because I remember when I was 15 and my head wasn't an adult, I didn't have an adult mindset.
No, of course not.
Like guys like that manipulate these younger girls, and like they don't understand.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We also think too, like, when you're that
we know it all.
It's cooler to be with an older person. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like we're doing it because it's like, oh, okay, everybody's gonna think it's cool,
but they also make you think,
right?
Do you know what I mean?
Of course, absolutely.
Well, they go for them to manipulate them.
Yes, because
aren't mature.
You're having a bad household, they know who to go for.
Yep.
They wouldn't go for some hard ass girl.
The troubled 15-year-old girl.
Yes.
And it's funny that the girl smoked weed in the chat logs and he hated drugs and everything else. I wasn't allowed to drink, or else I was an alcoholic if I drank. But then he goes after a 15-year-old that smokes weed.
Yeah,
the control.
He probably saw it as her, a fault in her. That makes it easier for him to attack. You know what I mean?
Nail on the head, Jewel.
I mean, it's sad, but it's like that's what
that's
a desire of theirs, is to find a weakness, and that's why, like, most of us, like, as decoys and the catchers who decoy, to pretend that we come from a broken home or things are messed up. I mean, it makes us a more vulnerable type, and they're with it.
They can smell it. They can smell it. They are so predatory.
Yeah.
They can smell it right away.
Every time I chat, I always say, use the I'm self-conscious, like worry, like the little girl in the corner, shy type kind of, and they're like, they want to teach me, they want to, word for word describe what they want to do. I mean, it's bad, because it's hitting a different mindset of the chomos,
Oh, absolutely. I've considered decoying for years now, and I want to, and I know I can, and I know I'd be really, really good at it, because I was, that person too at 15. So, or 11, I was very shy. I was really naive. I really didn't know what was happening to me, and but then I got a hard edge when it happened to my daughter. To me, that's a whole separate, to me, I can't even put those two together of what happened to me and to her, both horrible as they were, but her seems so much more. You almost blame yourself when you're 15, and that's terrible too, because you don't realize you're being manipulated,
That's why these laws are in place. These men are not supposed to be going after these little girls.
Right.
No.
Yep. And it's like, if we're not fighting back,
or
I mean,
vice versa. I know guys, like women do that too, I guess, but not probably as common.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would see the women as the teachers and stuff. I mean, it's so disgusting.
Yeah. It's more common with females than we think. The problem is with females, it's not online stuff. It's person to person. It's a teacher, a caregiver, mother, mother.
You know how that could fuck the guy up or a girl?
Guys are very much more easy to. They're like, oh, like I'm going on my, this is what I need right now. Like,
right.
They're opportunists. And the women
but they're
are
all predators.
More cautious,
Yeah.
Which is sad.
You find yourself, in my case, when I started therapy, I'm like, I don't trust anybody. If I didn't know my husband before all this stuff happened, I would be alone. I would not trust anyone. And he said to me, that's not true. He said, it's not that you don't trust them. You don't trust yourself because you picked badly in your own head. You don't trust yourself.
I get scared all the time because, like, I thought I knew Ryan for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, you love someone like that deeply that hurts you, like you're afraid it could happen again.
Yeah.
Right. But it won't.
Yeah, I
mean, it can't because you don't sound like the type. I mean, I do know that, I know people that they keep doing, getting back into those relationships and stuff. You don't sound like that girl. I'm certainly not that girl.
This was my first romantic, physically abusive relationship.
Right.
So, I did learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
Mentally. The mental happened way more often than the physical, but honestly, I would have rather the physical over the mental. The mental did a lot.
Same. Yeah. The bruises go away way faster. That's what I always thought.
It doesn't hurt as much as the manipulation, as the gaslighting, as the degrading you, being degraded all the time.
Yeah. You feel ugly. You feel unworthy.
Would not tell me.
You feel like no one's going to want you.
Yeah.
But then he'll be on his phone telling his friends that are girls they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're very, Yep.
Oh, yeah.
15-year-old that's not actually real.
Right. Can you even imagine?
Yep. It's crazy.
Jeez, Rockstar, if I wasn't so in love with my husband and younger, you were so sweet. You can just see it. Really, I'm a very good judge of character now because I really just.
Dude. That's what I've been saying to people. It's like he is absolutely the type of friend you're grateful to have for sure.
Yes. He's not.
And as many times as people message him and tell them their stories, it's like not just because he's the catcher. It's like who you can and can't speak to. Who's genuine. Who you can open up to. You know what I'm saying? So they, because of his vibe he has.
That's how I definitely feel. It's like you know him. Not like a fangirl thing. I mean, this is such a heavy topic. I worry about the catchers because the mental, dealing with this on that level.
I like to do the decoying because honestly, at the end of the day, I have the satisfaction of seeing someone like Rockstar exposing them. I don't have to go and face the dude I've been talking to for 6 months. I don't have to worry about me going to jail.
Listen, I would catch a charge because of everything I've been through. I could the part that I know I could decoy because that would give me satisfaction to watch or to know. I wouldn't even have to see it. Just to know that someone like Rockstar Musa or Alec, the ones that are in it for,
the right reason.
That are in it for, not for, I don't know how to put that because all catchers are good in my eyes because they're exposing somebody that's a real needs to be exposed. I don't have beef. I'm not a drama queen. Believe me, with my life, that's the last thing I want. But I do have my favorites, and it's what
the way I look at it is if you're catching these guys, I will support you. I don't care about anything
Absolutely.
else. Pay attention.
Absolutely.
I just
Absolutely.
I want to see.
Yes. And for every, what is the thing now that I just was thinking about the other day? Jules, I think I told you, for every child, you save probably 25.
Yes, yeah. For every catch you get, there's
For
probably
every catch,
kids saved.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yep. Because the ramifications of just that one child being hurt away, you know.
I'm thinking about it
from
my point. I have 21 catches as of Monday. Then
Nice.
think about it from Musa's standpoint, 500 as of yesterday.
You know what? He's a machine. The passion for him, you know, he's got kids. You know, the
thing is, like, nobody has drive like him. Like, I'm lucky that I get to like hang out with him on a personal level.
Oh yeah,
and everything.
He seems like such a good guy.
Drive, it's ridiculous.
The focus is amazing.
So.
Did you see it when he was walking down the boardwalk on the beach and the sand and everything, sweating his ass off with that old man that was jumping? I said, man, that was he just won't. He's like a dog with the bone. He's not.
His senses are so sharp too. Anytime I go to a catch, I would ask him, like, when we were first starting, because like I said, I jumped into the deep end. I jumped right in.
You did.
First catch was an EPA predator catcher. Shout out Stan, he's amazing. And
yes.
Have all been Musa with me. So just watching what he does and asking him where to be, it's improved me significantly.
Oh yeah. Anybody new at this? I mean, until you're doing it. It don't even look easy. I couldn't even imagine, because
he makes it
my
easy
emotions
at some points. But he makes it easy at some points, but you're dealing with the predator.
That's why I like the collab. It kind of takes the pressure off mentally. Yeah. For a few minutes, so you can, because this shit is horrible. Some of the shit you're hearing, you just can't believe it. You know, as a man, I can't even imagine. Like, you just can't believe what you're hearing, because you're not
decoying in this area. I only pretty much decoy at home. I work pretty much constantly, so all of my catches are either before, after, or one time on my lunch. But
that's some drive. Like, see, you gotta work, you gotta, you know, like, there's so much other stuff going on. I hate when I see a stupid comment. Like, I usually put like fire catcher, you know, or whatever. Just stupid people sitting on their couches going, "What is the money?" or who you didn't do this right, this or that. I'm like, get out of here.
They're couch catchers. They're quick to dictate what these
guys should be making millions.
Never
be out there when you're on the catch. Like, things happen so quickly.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen, you know?
Like, when I'm with Musa, we're good. We can both look at comments, like, but if you're by yourself, you never take your eyes off that predator. No matter.
Of course not. They're dangerous. Cowardly, but they're in a spot.
That we can't read comments. We know anything like that. If we can, then it's one of those circumstances where, you know, it's kind of a calm situation, but you can't even get comfortable in that. There's really no situation.
How much multitasking, and to keep your mental from physically going after these guys. I mean, sometimes, you know, that's got to be tough when you get the real arrogant ones and the you know what I mean? Like, how
I had one catch that I'm nowhere near proud of, but it was for the best. And I went hard on this dude for an hour long, and I lost a lot of people on that one, but
really
I did, because I was brutal. It was bad. Even Moose is like, okay, calm down a little bit, you know. But
that's the thing.
There was a lot of other circumstances that went with it, and I was emotional on that, and that
that's the thing.
do.
Some are going to hit you harder than others.
Yeah.
And their attitudes and stuff. That's why I couldn't even go on a catch or watch one like that, only from afar.
Like, especially having Musa as a teacher, we're able to talk about
Yeah,
everything.
he keeps his head pretty calm.
I will tell you flat out, the way Musa acts is the way Musa acts. He does not bullshit. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks, and
he's real.
It's not in a criticizing way or anything. It's to make you better. And
that's exactly it. He's trying to open some eyes, for these people.
I mean, the other thing that I respect about Musa so much is that he decoys for himself.
He's like a one-man show.
And all the catches that he comes on with me, he refuses to count them as his. He's like, oh, you work in, they're your catches.
Guy. Yeah, like he is totally not in this for any kind of fame. Like you could see how he gets a little bit like embarrassed. People recognize him all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that he's kind of like he digs it, but not like he wouldn't care.
Yeah. He is a humble
You know
dude.
what I mean?
Very humble.
Very humble. Very humble.
He wants
and he's had a bad year, man. My heart broke for him this year.
Yeah.
I've been shedding some tears for him this year. Yeah.
He is absolutely another, person.
Musa is a survivor also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Hell this year.
That's why I say, like, it is literally Musa the GOAT. Is every time people say that, I say you are very, very accurate. It's amazing. He is amazing.
And there's a lot of amazing characters. I don't take away from any of them. Like my main influence is PCI, PCM, T-Koi is absolutely incredible. APP, PP Mass. I watch everybody to learn from them.
Right.
But to me, it might be because he's my friend. I'm a little biased,
Yeah.
He's on a different level when he goes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have catches set up. He goes to a place, he throws out a line, and he catches 9 one night.
And he stays focused and determined the entire time. Like, I'm not going home until I get a catch.
It's funny because a lot of the people know who he is too. Like even the people. Ryan acted like he was. But I was watching Musa before Ryan even left. Ryan knew Musa.
Yeah, I get it.
He used to say he hated child predators.
Yep.
But
it's like
people have been actually calling me out by name too. So it's like,
Yep. Oh, I bet.
That just proves that I'm having an effect, and I'm okay with that. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's like, yes, we're all watching for the catches because it's like, oh, I want to see another one, and
I just want to know who they are. Like, like they're lurking around.
If it gets to the point where they're too scared to do this, we won.
Right. Absolutely.
There's two sides to it.
So
right, Lisa. She said my favorite Musa saying is, "You feel me?" Love that.
That's the thing about Musa. The way he is on camera is exactly how it is when that camera goes off. That is Musa.
1,000%. 1,000%. Be careful.
Yesterday was the first day that I saw him with no, or Monday was like the first day that I ever saw him with no energy at all. He just laid in my truck.
He's like, I'm taking a breather.
after the Super Bowl, he was tired that day.
Other
than he's like a ball of energy. You cannot be in a bad mood when you're around him.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard, definitely hard for sure. Well, Amber, I appreciate you like 1,000 times. Like,
thanks. I appreciate what you're doing too.
Thank you. You are always welcome here, and you can message me anytime. Don't ever hesitate. I'll put my number in the group chat for you too, so you can have it. Rockstar, you are a rock star. You're a badass.
Jules,
I freaking adore you to pieces.
I thank you so much for what you're doing and allowing us to have the platform to help this area too.
Yeah, absolutely. I will fight for survivors always. I feel like anybody in any type of a trauma survivor in any situation deserves to have some light shed in their direction.
They do.
You know, because I feel like we get lost in the background a lot of the times, you know.
Because they act like, oh, it's common, it happens, whatever, suck it up.
Yep. And and that's probably the worst you can say to a survivor is get over it or suck it up. You know?
Yeah. I really hope this changes some minds too about the way they act after a catch.
Yeah.
Don't harass the family. Leave the predator alone too. Their whole life's falling around already. Yeah. So it helps to just let the process happen.
Yeah. And because it's like, I mean, the catchers are dealing with the courts, the police are dealing with the pred, like, you know what I mean? It's being handled.
There's a responsibility that you take on when you do this.
Right.
You take that seriously when you're going and doing it. And you just have to trust the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Thank you, Justine. All right, you guys. I think Cam has a live coming up. He said he was doing it around 5. So, Chase, get down. My son's trying to climb the window. But I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys next week.
Alrighty, thanks for having me. Come on.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, honey. You're very
thanks,
brave.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.